Welcome everybody to your TWitWoW Five Fave Fives post Wrestlemania XL edition. This is the 28th edition of Five Fave Fives. I can't believe we've been doing this for that long because it's not like we do these monthly. We don't quite do them quarterly either. It's kind of in between there. It's like once every 2 months or so, 2.5, somewhere around there. But yeah, man, this has been a really interesting 10 weeks, which is how long it's been since the last time we did one of these. And I'm very excited to get into this. We do have a little bit of an like we had to kind of stretch a little bit, I think, for our AEW ROH list this time around, just because we paid so little attention to either one of those companies. But I managed to put together a pretty strong fave five, but I do not have any honorable mentions for that list. How about you?
Uh, I do, but again, like I just want to be forthcoming and say that with AEW ROH, it really just comes down to what did I bother to watch like on Twitter if a video
Right.
popped up on my feed? What did I bother to check out on YouTube when it was on my feed? I really want to make clear I do not give a single fuck about AEW and I barely care about ROH, and the barely really is Athena. Like Athena is the big draw for me for Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
Everything else though, talk more about the positives. I have quite a few women in my fave five, although I will say just to tip my hand just a little bit, I don't have a single woman in my WWE fave five.
Well, that's
But
interesting. I have five.
yeah, but everywhere else like NXT, I've got three. Obviously, Stardom's all women, and my other is just all women. So
Oh,
yeah,
nice. My other, I have, let's see, mostly women. There's one guy in there.
there you go. So, without any further ado, since we're already a bit behind the eight ball, and I'd like to get done, with a little bit of time before NXT tonight, which looks like a very interesting card,
Hell
let's
yeah.
get started with our WWE list. Since I'm kind of the one seemingly more in a hurry, I'll start us off with the honorable mentions. Now, traditionally, I try and keep it to five honorable mentions as like a backup fave five, a secondary roster. I will say, obviously, though, for AEW, I only have two, and for other, I actually manage three. So, there you go. But number five in the Fave Five, so working backwards from 10 to 6, Bianca Belair, Santos Escobar, Andrade, Rhea Ripley, and Sami Zayn.
Nice. Nice list. I like it. I like it. I'm happy that you got Sammy on there. That puts a smile on my face because I know that you and he have a very interesting kind of relationship in a way. Um,
Yes.
so for me, from again, same thing from 10 to 6 effectively, Chelsea Green, Indy Hartwell, the Creed Bros, Bailey, and Legado del Fantasma. I just put them all in the same group.
Love that you have Chelsea on there. She's been doing terrific. Number
Yes.
five for me, just right out of the gate, Roman Reigns.
Ooh.
What more is there to say? I loved his title reign. I guess this is my way of saying thank you, Roman. Um, you can talk about your Cody Rhodeses and your Triple H's, and no doubt they were important in different ways. But I really feel like Roman Reigns, when he came back all those years ago with Paul Heyman, you could feel the ground shift underneath. And I never thought I would live to see in my lifetime anything comparable to a Bruno, to a Backlund or a Hogan, like that type of title reign in the modern era. You could talk about defenses, you could talk about him being a Brock Lesnar, but like the great thing about Brock Lesnar before the fucking scandal hit is that he was an attraction.
Yeah.
And Roman Reigns, I think, really got at one point in his title reign to be like an attraction. And yeah, I love the feud with Kevin Owens, obviously. Uh, Honorary Uce, Sami Zayn, the stuff with Jay Uso being an abuse survivor. This one title reign told so many great stories, and I feel like even me to a degree, we took it for granted, I think, towards the end. But he was a phenomenal champion, and whatever the next story is, I feel like maybe Solo will turn on him. Maybe Heyman will turn on him. Heyman's a leech. The character always goes where the power is. Now that Roman doesn't have the title, what will be the loyalty of the wise man? I don't know. But Roman did tremendous work, era defining work, and he should definitely be commended for that. And I'm guessing he got a shit ton of money for it too, which is also a nice thing. So thank you, Roman, indeed. Who is number five on your fave five list for
Yeah.
WWE?
Absolutely. So number five for my WWE list is Rhea Ripley. I know you had her at basically number seven for yourself.
Yes.
But I got her into my fave five. I've really, really enjoyed her work. I think that her match with Becky Lynch was about as good as it could have been, given that Becky was dealing with strep throat and a fever and stuff. But yeah, it was really good. Um, I need to just kind of praise her and give her credit where it's due. She's had a really amazing women's championship run, despite the fact that she really hasn't been given all that many really great opponents to work with, and that's just really impressive. I think that it would be better if she'd get more interesting opponents, and that's why I'm so happy that she retained her title at WrestleMania, because that means that there's more opportunities now for her to get better opponents. I'm still waiting for that Shayna feud, man. I'm still waiting for her to get that singles match at a pay-per-view with Shayna Baszler. I feel like they would tear the roof off the place, especially because we just had Shayna wrestle Masha Slamovich at the most recent Bloodsport, and from what I heard, they killed it. They tore the house down. So yeah, man, I feel like Rhea Shayna is really where my money is at. I don't know if we're ever going to get that. It looks like they're really pointing at right now Rhea Liv, and it wouldn't surprise me if Liv took the title off of her, which is yet another reason why I wanted to give Rhea her flowers now while I still can, because again, the next time we do one of these, she might not be champion anymore.
Well said. Number four for me, moving right along, Chad Gable.
Nice.
I'm going to be honest, so much of this comes down to that gauntlet match performance against Sami Zayn. I cannot wait for their match next week in Montreal. Unfortunately, I do fear that Gable's going to turn heel, which I cannot tell you how viscerally every atom of my body rejects it. Just because I think Gable is such a believable babyface, has a great look. He's an underdog, but he's not like a pathetic underdog. He's not even necessarily an underdog that needs all the crowd support because he's so naturally gifted. And I do want to see him as an Intercontinental Champion. I wanted to see it at Gunther's expense. Wasn't in the cards. I've softened up on Sammy being champion. I recommend everybody go follow Myth GIFs. That's MITH GIFs on Twitter. He did a great breakdown of why this fourth Intercontinental title reign for Sammy is unique among all the ones that he's had. But that notwithstanding, I still feel like Chad is kind of deserves this. I think he's really been putting the time in. Dude's an absolute beast. I'm looking forward to see, what happens. And I'm looking forward to seeing, if he moves places, come the draft, which is only going to be a few weeks away. But yeah, Gable's a stud. Who's next on your WWE list?
Number 4 on my WWE list, the final boss, The Rock.
Excellent. Excellent.
He has just consistently been one of the most entertaining parts of the WWE product over the course of the last couple months. He's shown up, I think, maybe even more than Roman Reigns has on television, at least as much, if not more than. And honestly, he was the driving force behind what I would probably consider my segment of the year, which was the sort of end of Raw beatdown of Cody Rhodes last Monday, or 2 Mondays ago, it might have been, in the parking lot in the rain. Like, we want to talk about how we're in the era of cinema, like the cinema era or the cinematic era. That was cinema right there.
100%. Number three for me, Kevin Owens. I've enjoyed the feud with Logan Paul. I've enjoyed kind of the friendship between him and Randy Orton. I do feel that that might be coming to an end. I'm still not entirely unconvinced that Kevin doesn't end up on the same show as Sammy. Turns heel, goes after the Intercontinental because they did share that moment backstage before Kevin lost his match. So you already have Sammy won his match against an indomitable Gunther, and Kevin Owens couldn't beat Randy Orton and a guy that's, mainly just a social media personality turned wrestler in Logan Paul. So I could see a lot of jealousy on the part of Kevin Owens. I'm personally tired of heel Owens. I really love him as a babyface. I just don't think they've necessarily done him as a babyface justice because I still feel like he could go on a very interesting redemptive arc. They don't care about that. I'm trying not to, but he's a phenomenal wrestler either way. I've really been into his matches as of late, and as a promo, I mean, come on. It kind of speaks for itself. So Kevin Owens is always going to be, top three for me. So who's next in your WWE Fave Five?
For the first time in almost a year, not at number 1, Damage Control.
Yeah, that makes sense. That Mania build, I think, hurt him, but I don't want to speak for you. This is your time.
I think, you know what? I think Bailey leaving the group and not being kind of lumped in so that she would contribute to their ranking hurt a little bit. I think that them in general not getting as much TV time, and I will say thanks in part to The Rock. I think, and then also, yeah, the lack of build for the Bailey EO program also hurt. And I'll even say, I feel like the repetitiveness of the build in their feud with Bianca, Jade, and Naomi kind of hurt them because the fun thing about the build to that wasn't them. It was Jade specifically debuting and beating them up and then winning the match, obviously. So yeah, Damage Control has lost Bailey and they've lost a lot of momentum. And now because of the Bailey match at Mania, they've lost the women's title. EO is no longer champion. So even though EO is still my absolute favorite, probably my favorite female performer in the world, if not at the very least like top 3-ish. Um, Damage Control as a unit has definitely lost a lot of steam in the last 2 months, which is all we're really grading. We're like 10 weeks basically is what we're doing, which is 2.5 months or so. And yeah, it's just not been as incredible of a time period for them. But as performers, man, they still just put their all into everything. And I will say they have gotten a little bit of a boost from getting Dakota Kai back. She's awesome. I feel like she has come back and immediately reminded everyone, including me, how damn good she is. She's so talented.
I wouldn't mind if you wanted to save the big Io Bailey rematch if you had Dakota go after her for a mini program. Dakota, I think, is fantastic. But continuing right
If
along,
EO has like an existential crisis, yeah, that would be great.
yeah, continuing right along, number two for me, Gunther. My God. You know, when you hear the old school heads like racist piece of shit Jim Cornette and other people talk about what wrestling used to be, Gunther should be your go to every time because this dude doesn't do flippy shit. He doesn't do any of that kind of stuff. And yet he's one of the most compelling wrestlers in the world today. Like I would watch, and I'm not even shitting you guys on this. I've learned, and maybe it's just the grouchy old man in me. I don't care for a lot of flippy shit today. I don't care for that indie style as much as I used to. I would take a Gunther matchup over, I'll even be generous and say 70% of what, wrestlers do today. He just has such presence, such aura. He's so goddamn believable. He's that guy that you put out in front of the cameras when you've got that smart reporter that's like, it's all fake, right? And then Gunther just chops him just to see how fake they feel it really is. I love this dude. I cannot wait for him to be undisputed champion. I am already so sick to death of the Cody title reign. The less I talk about it, the better. So I'm just going to leave it there. Uh, Gunther, to me, though, when he wins that world title, it's going to feel like a world title again since Roman Reigns. So hopefully we won't have to wait that long. Dude's fucking phenomenal. And whatever they're paying him, he better be getting a fucking bonus after that Intercontinental title reign. His best work is yet to come. So who's next on your Fave 5 list?
I always have fun with these lists and try and find sort of like parallels between our lists. And I noticed that, we kind of have like the aces at number 5, where you got Roman, I got Rhea, and they're kind of like male and female ace of the company right now in a way.
Yeah.
And then at number 4, I mean, the only thing they really have in common is that they're both very charismatic. There's nothing in common between our number 3s, but number 2, my God, we both have fucking men. We both have horses because I've got DM Hunk, Drew McIntyre at number 2.
Amazing.
I fucking love this man. His run since the Rumble, really, is what it comes down to, has been fantastic, and it's perfect because that's what we're grading for. I mean, honestly, if I was going to put anyone at number 1, Drew would have absolutely deserved it this period, but I just had to give flowers to who I actually put at 1. But man, Drew's run these couple months have been absolutely incredible. His mic work has been incredible. His character work has been absolutely S tier. His matches have slapped. This dude has been probably the best wrestler in the world from an overall standpoint, including the mic, including the character, including everything. Like if you grade someone on a scale of 1 to 10 on everything that makes a wrestler a good wrestler as far as like the overall performer standpoint goes, Drew is probably number 1 in the world for the last 2.5 months. But I only made him number 2 on my list for other reasons. Now go ahead and sing his praises because I'm sure he's number 1 for
He is number one for me. I'm not going to stay too long because I think you said everything brilliantly and succinctly, as your face is known to do. I will say, though, just to add on my own little 2 cents, what makes Drew so great was kind of encapsulated in his promo on Raw last night. He did do a bit of heelish stuff by making fun of Philadelphia for how short they last in the sack, which, I mean, is it really being a heel when you're right? I don't know. Jury's still out. But I love that he gave proper due to Seth Rollins while also still antagonizing Punk because I mean, look, let's be honest, guys. If you really look at Punk objectively, even if you like him, even if you're happy he's back, and that is absolutely your prerogative, and I respect that. I don't think that's what a lot of people get, by the way, is like, I'm allowed to dislike people as is Ashton, but we're not shitting on the fans of those people. And we've been saying that since day one. But in line to that spirit, he is a hypocrite. You go and you talk all this shit about the company. Hell, in your first AEW promo, you pretty much say that WWE was the place that made you sick.
Yeah, he
And in your
literally
first
did
WWE,
say that.
yeah, and like in your first WWE promo back, you say, "I'm
I'm home.
home." Get the fuck out
He's
of here, you
such an asshole.
disingenuous fuckwad. Like, no, I am 100% Team Drew on this. And, you know, when he said it's on site with CM Punk and CM Punk interfered again, I'm like, you know what? I hope he gives you a matching set with your other fucking torn tricep. Like,
I hope
fuck this
CM
dude.
Punk tries to do a kip up like Drew during their match and fucking blows out a knee.
I mean, dude, he's 45 and so out of shape, like athletically. Like, you don't have an athletic bone in your fucking body,
And the
dude.
thing is, he never
Stop playing.
has. He's never had an athletic bone in his body. When he was younger, he barely even did any athletic shit. He jumped off the top rope at best.
Yeah. So I'm loving Drew, and you know what? Oh, here's something else I want to say though. Just because again, you said everything so succinctly and so brilliantly, but I do want to bring up something else that you said, which I'm going to steal here because you didn't use this phrase. We had a great conversation last night in the Discord because I went back and I listened to that promo and I said, "Oh my god, what if the Money in the Bank winner cashes in on Drew and Drew loses the title to Money in the Bank a third time because Money in the Bank comes after Clash at the Castle?"
Yeah.
And then you said, and I love this, oh, it'd be funny if Drew just lost at Clash and then was like, screw it. If I can't win it, you know, the right way, quote unquote, I'll win it this way. And then he wins Money in the Bank and he cashes in. And I said, I love that because that would continue Michael Cole's narrative of, oh, Drew's such a hypocrite because talk shit about the bloodline, accepts the bloodline's help to beat Cody on that one Raw. And you know, et cetera, et cetera. And then you said, just a perfect sentence that encapsulates everything, that Drew's character is fun to play with. That's his character right now. It's a character that has multiple possibilities, and all of them feel authentic.
Yeah.
And
I also
I
feel like
really love
I
it.
did mention later on in that Discord conversation that I feel like if Drew would win Money in the Bank, he would fail his cash in.
I did see that too. Now I want to thank you for bringing that up because that honestly that left my mind. But again, that's just further proof that his character is fun to play with and it has so many authentic possibilities. So yeah, that's the only other thing I really wanted to drive home. When you have a character that can do that, you're untouchable because they could practically the only wrong they can do is if you do wrong by that decision, by not cutting a good promo, by not animating it well. And yeah, this dude's just on another level right now. So who is number one for you? I'm
Before we
curious who
get
you
to
give
that,
the
I do
most.
just want to say I love the way that they handled Drew at Mania because he got what he wanted, but it was like a cursed wish. Like you got what you wanted. You got the chance to win in front of a crowd, but A, they weren't cheering for you when you did it, and B, you lost the title 5 minutes later. I love the way they did that because now it feels like we still have that opportunity, that real opportunity for Drew to win a title at WrestleMania as a babyface in front of cheering fans.
Absolutely.
I'm
Absolutely.
like I'm so in on that. That's my dream for him. I'm praying for that for Drew.
I love him, and I'm going to assume that he re-signed if they've done all this with him. So if he did sign a new deal, I just hope he's getting paid what he's worth. Like that dude should be getting set for life with the work that he's doing on TV. But yeah, who is number one on your Fave Five list?
Got a question for you, John.
Yes.
Do you think that when Hulk Hogan had his long title reign that anyone ever said, "Man, this guy's really underrated and underappreciated"?
No.
Cuz Roman Reigns is. He's my number 1.
Oh my God. Fucking sweet.
Yeah, Roman Reigns is number 1 on my list and honestly, he even somehow through a 4-year reign is still underrated, is still underappreciated. Like he's been telling everyone for 4 years now, he's the only one that can do this. He's the only one that can handle the responsibility. Like even I think even when he went like when he showed up for the first time in 2020 as a heel after the I think it was like a Braun Bray match, he said you can't handle it. You can't handle the responsibility to one of them during like his beatdown of them. And that rings true even to this day because like I feel like there's a void in my life with Roman Reigns no longer being champion. And that sounds so silly of me to say, But really, like, there's like this weird feeling of emptiness now that he's not champion anymore, and especially knowing that the person who took his place is bum ass Cody Rhodes. Like,
What the step down is insane,
I
bro.
know, dude. That's what I'm saying. It's crazy. And like his match with Cody on Sunday, in my opinion, personally, was his magnum opus. It was the best piece of work I think Roman's ever done. And I can't even call it a match of the year candidate because of how much it got slowed down and fucked around with by all the interferences and the finish, which I'm not a fan of, obviously. But like just the Roman Reigns character work that he was putting in, the arrogance, the shit talking, the even like the even just as simple as like having the choice between hitting Cody Rhodes with the chair and making it more likely he wins the match, and hitting Seth with the chair and getting revenge for over a decade ago when Seth broke up the Shield and betrayed Roman, and Roman still can't get over it. And it's almost reminiscent of the Rumble last year, I think it was, or a couple years ago when it was, when Seth came out to the Shield theme and Roman had him in the guillotine, and he was telling the ref, "He will not allow me to let go." It's so fucking good. It's actual art, man. It's so good.
I want to ask you just one question because the Roman character, it's such an open terrain now what to
Yeah,
do with him.
yeah.
I do think ultimately, I'm not saying immediately. I want to stress that because I don't want to be misinterpreted. I'm not saying immediately, but ultimately, I do think he goes back to being face. Do you think him and Seth reconcile? Because Seth, in a lot of people's minds, paid the ultimate penance. Like he lost his title, he lost his fucking knee in kayfabe, he took the chair shot from Roman. Do you think they'll ever reconcile, like just the two of them? Because I don't think Moxley's ever coming back. So, like,
This
you think,
might
yeah,
be the turning point where Roman starts to let it go finally.
yeah, yeah, that'd be fascinating to see, honestly.
Yeah, it might
All
be.
right,
But yeah, Roman's my number one, and I don't think that he ever will be again, or at the very least, I don't think that he will be again for a long time because I don't know how much work he's even going to do anytime soon. I don't know if we're even going to see him again in a pay per view match by the time you and I do another Fave 5 because it's going to be before SummerSlam, and I wouldn't be surprised if Roman's next pay per view match was at SummerSlam.
yeah, really.
So yeah, we will see. We will see. But I just wanted to really, like I said, give Roman his flowers because this has been one hell of a run. And for it to end the way it did, for them to be like, oh no, we're not going to give Cody the title now because there's no story. We're going to forge the story for him to win it next year. It's just so disingenuous and so artificial to me, and I just hate the way they handled it so much. It just honestly, I just wish Drew would have won at Clash of the Castle 2 years ago, or Jay at SummerSlam last year. Either one of them would have been infinitely better than this shit. But it had to be Cody because it's fucking Cody, and fuck everyone involved in that decision.
Well said. All right, ball was still in your court though, friend, because we're moving on to NXT, and you begin our honorable mentions for that. So, who are your honorable mentions for NXT?
Mostly women in my honorable mentions for NXT. Starting from 10 to 6, I have Kalani Jordan, Kiana James, Javon Evans, Lyra Valkyria, and Ariana Grace.
Okay, I have from 10 to 6, No Quarter Catch Crew, Kiana James. It's funny that you and I had Kiana James in the exact same spot in our
Oh
honorable
yeah, that is
mentions, it seems
cool.
like. Tatum Paxley, Dijak, and Trick Williams.
Wow, Trick outside of your Fave 5, that surprises me.
Just a little bit. I think he'll get there though. Especially if we get the call ups that I'm thinking we will at the draft this year. But anyway, who inaugurates your Fave 5 list for NXT? Who's number 5?
That would be Roxanne Perez, the new NXT Women's Champion.
Excellent.
I've
Love
really
it.
enjoyed her character work, man. She's gone heel and she's fully embraced it. The arm break on Lyra was brutal. She's embraced her brutal side. She even got a win on Raw last night against Indy Hartwell. I love Indy Hartwell too. Obviously, she was also in my honorable mentions for my WWE list. I'm a fan of both of them, but obviously Indy, is having trouble right now with Candice LeRae. It's kind of funny actually the way they told the story where Candice tried to help Indy by cheating and Indy was like, "No, I don't want that." And then Roxanne cheated and won because of it.
And it just looks at it like, I told you
Told you
twice.
twice. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, and Roxanne getting the dub over Lyra at Stand and Deliver was really cool to see. Yeah, man, Roxanne, I've always liked her, but I feel like this heel character and her really being this like over the top evil heel has just made me love her. I really think that she's in a certain zone right now. Maybe not like super special, but it's really fun and really entertaining, and I just really appreciate it. And we already know that she's incredible in the ring. She's one of the most talented in-ring performers as far as like the women's roster goes in the entire company. I would put her top 10 probably in the ring, probably in the entire company, even including main roster, honestly.
Yeah, well said. Starting my list, I told y'all I was going to do this, and this is one time where I actually kept my word all the way through. Ariana Grace. I've
Nice.
said that,
I
yeah,
mean,
she
dude, we
would
were
make.
close. I had her at 6.
Yeah, I mean, I've said that she would make a fave five for me. I love her. I love her promos. I love the gimmick of the pageant
She's
queen.
hilarious.
Dude, I laugh every time. I love that her, Foster and I have bonded over her. I'm not even. Let me be perfectly clear about something too, because I know with me, I'm so unhinged. It's like, is he being serious or is he not? And I like keeping you all on your toes, but I'll make this one easy for you. When I say that I want Ariana Grace to be a future women's champion in NXT, especially now with them getting their own North American championship, I'm being 100% sincere. I
Honestly,
think it
though,
would be
the
hilarious.
biggest injustice about the Ariana Grace character over this grading period is that her tweet that she posted after getting her DQ win over Gigi wasn't a verbal like actual promo. I want to
Yeah.
hear I want to hear her inflection when she talks about being punched in her flower.
Yeah. I mean, she had a match recently against Ren Sinclair, and like I love her old school like 50s ring attire.
Dude, even the
Um,
style, she does like judo throw type shit. She does like I saw a video on Reddit recently that was talking about like 1930s women's self-defense techniques, and she was doing shit that I saw in that video. I was like, damn, she it's giving authentic, and I love it.
I've loved her, or I do love her far more than I've ever enjoyed her dad. Because like
Oh my god, yeah.
Santino, I'm not gonna like take the piss and be like, no, I never liked Santino. I actually enjoyed the stuff with Beth, and I enjoyed some of the stuff outside of that. But like, there is a consistency with her, with me, that her dad never had with me,
Yeah.
and I really hope to one day call her a champion. Hell, if her and Gigi would win the fucking women's tag titles. I
Yes.
mean, hell, right now they're on a legit team in Kabuki Warriors. I'm not holding my breath. I'm just saying you can't overuse Honor Grace for this guy. I even loved her promo backstage about stand and deliver. Everybody came to see me, and I stood tall and I delivered. And then the interviewer was like, "Weren't you a last minute replacement?" No, I knew. I was always supposed to be a part of this. I gotta go. And then just shoots her a glare.
Dude, that
She is.
glare, bro. If looks could kill.
Bro, I'm telling you, she is the type of person that, like, I am so excited what the next character is because I feel like the next character organically is just the facade breaking apart and her just being totally unhinged. And, like, unhinged characters feel.
I want her and Chelsea as a team.
Dude, I was thinking that, dude, it's so funny you mentioned Chelsea because I'm like, I've been thinking mentally lately, like, I want her and Chelsea on the same brand. And yeah, while crazy characters seem to be a dime a dozen in the business today, hers might be one if they kept the volume appropriately that I could really, really get behind. So yeah, I don't want to drone on anymore because this is only a number five pick and we have a lot of lists to get through, including the remainder of this one. So who is next on your Fave
Dude,
Five for
can
NXT?
you imagine if she and Chelsea were doing a similar like hot mess gimmicks at the same time?
That would be incredible.
Because you mentioned her like breaking,
Yeah.
and that got me thinking of like her having like the smeared lipstick and makeup and stuff, and it made me think of Hot Mess Van Ness, and I'm like, oh my god, her and Chelsea doing that at the same time would be insane.
Abso-fucking-lutely, bro, for sure.
All right, so then we get to number 4 for me, which is Trick Williams. You had him at number 6, I had him at number 4, so we're not that far off, but he just barely slipped out of your top 5, so I guess I get to talk about him more. Man,
Absolutely.
his connection with the crowd. What else can I say? He's hyper athletic. He's hyper. Well, I shouldn't say hyper. I don't think his charisma is like 10 out of 10 rock levels, but it's close. It's like 8.59 out of 10, somewhere around there. He's very charismatic and he has this special connection with the crowd, man. And it might be the way that he was built up. It might just be something intrinsic to him. I don't know. But the thing is, it's already we already know that it's carrying over to the main roster because we've seen him show up on SmackDown and the crowd was chanting "Whoop that trick!" Like they love him even on the main roster. So like
Yes.
he's already kind of made. Um, but yeah, man, he is. He's our next NXT champion, as far as I'm concerned. He is the uncrowned NXT World Champion. Got the win over Mello on Saturday, and I cannot wait to see him beat Ilya. It feels like he needs to finish his story now. Cody got his shit in. It's Trick's turn. Let Trick finish his story. Let him slay the dragon. And then let fucking Ilya go up and do whatever the fuck they want to do with him on the main roster. Hopefully they realize that his style doesn't really work on the main roster and they back the fuck off these high expectations they have for him. They probably won't, but I'm hoping. I have high hopes for that. But Trick is who we're focusing on here, and Trick is a really special talent. He's got the size, he's got the look, he's got the charisma. He's getting better on the mic, he's getting better in the ring, and he's got all the tools that if he puts all the tools together, he literally could be the next Rock, straight up.
All right. Next for me, Lyra Valkyria.
Nice.
Loved her
I
NXT
do it
women's.
again. I had her at 7, you had her at 4. We're similar on a lot of these. I love that.
Absolutely. Loved her NXT Women's Championship reign. I actually think, I don't know how Ilya is going to do on the main roster. I'm very confident about Trick, but Lyra is also somebody I'm very confident in. I look at her and she screams SmackDown to me. I just feel like she'd fit really well right now on the SmackDown brand more than Raw. So if she does get drafted, I hope she goes there. I think her and Io could make magic, provided they're on the same show. You got to be careful with these dream matches you make because the draft could really bungle a lot of them. Her and Bailey could do great stuff. I just think she's a really solid wrestler. I thought her and Roxanne made magic together. I'm thinking there's going to be one more match between them. I hope. I wouldn't even mind if it was an Iron Woman match. I want to see those two go 30, to be quite honest with you. I love the match they had at Stand and Deliver. It was my personal match of the weekend, which that's insane because that triple threat also at Stand and Deliver was fucking incredible. I think it was PWG at its finest, and it wasn't even PWG. So yeah, big ups to Lyra. I look forward to more women's championships in her future. And yeah, that's all I gotta say about that. So who's next on your list?
Number 3 on my list, the Metaphor.
I love it. I love how much you stand this group, bro. It's beautiful.
I'm surprised you don't stand them more, honestly. They're so good and entertaining.
They are. I don't deny it. I don't deny it
Noam,
one
I,
bit.
I would love for Noam to maybe not right now, but once Oba gets called up, be in that North American title picture. I really like Noam Dar as just an individual performer. He's really good in the ring. He's hilarious on the mic. His promos are great, and I love that he knows that we find his accent funny, so sometimes he'll just go out of his way to say things like with an exaggeration of his own accent.
Yeah.
That's great. And man, Lash Legend is a part of this group too, and she is a special fucking talent, bro.
Yes, dude.
Like the fact that
Yes.
she and Trick are an item, good lord. I mean, not since Montez and Bianca has there been a more talented couple come through developmental.
If you want to take things a bit slow with Trick for his first Mania or whatever, that needs to be like the first Mania match of those two. Is like the mixed tag, fucking Montez and Bianca versus Trick and Lash, because I would
Bro,
unironically
fuck
be dialed
mixed.
into that
Make it
shit.
intergender. I want Lash to slam Montez.
And she could
And
too. You know
Bianca
she,
could
yeah,
could slam Trick too.
yeah. Like that's a tag match that if you marketed it right, could have viral moments on it, and we know
Hell
that
yeah.
that's what the digital economy kind of demands today for a lot of businesses. But no, I agree with you completely, man. Lash, I am so excited for her.
Yeah, and I do like Jakara and Oro as well, but neither one of them really excite me the way that Lash does, and neither one of them is the complete finished product that Noam is. So
Yeah,
I like everyone involved in this. I would definitely rank Oro at the bottom. He's the least
yeah.
interesting to me, but he's funny too. He's got a lot of funny moments that he'll just randomly say something and it'll pop me. But yeah, this is just a really strong group and it's a really entertaining group, and I love that they're featured as much as they are on NXT. It's awesome. I love it.
Number 3 for me, Roxanne Perez.
Nice.
And if we didn't live in a world where my 2 and 1 existed, she would be number 1. Um,
I
I
know who your number 1 is, but I have no clue who your number 2 is.
I mean, it'll all come together. But yeah, with Roxanne, okay, I need to talk about this because I low key owe her an apology because when she won the Battle Royal that started all of this to get her title shot at Vengeance Day, you could go back in the Discord. I ain't trying to hide it. I was disappointed in the result. I was hoping, I don't even know who I was rooting for to win it at the time. It might have been a Lash. It might have even been Kiana. I would have thought that would have been interesting. But she got it, and I'm like, oh man, Roxanne, like, I know she's young and she's good, but I think my problem with her, as with a lot of brilliant people, is like, why are you a face though? And then she kind of stopped being the candy flavored kind of baby face and had more of a technical hard edge. And then she just committed to being full blown heel. And like Roxanne was really a reminder of that match at Stand and Deliver. I mean, Lyra's fantastic. I already gave her flowers, but everything Roxanne was doing was a reminder to me of why I love fucking technical wrestling and what the way she wrestled that match reminded me of. And I know, every time I mention this person, I kind of tense up because I'm like, am I doing okay? But it does remind me of Benoit versus Van Dam from SummerSlam '02 for the Intercontinental title when Benoit came in as the champion because he used the hammerlock very similarly to how Roxanne did. And a lot of that offense going back to the arm, she was so focused on it. And Lyra, thank you for actually fucking selling it. Because again, I worry sometimes is selling a lost art. But yeah, she's so technically vicious and not in that try hard way that so much of Brit Rest is. Oh, look at me bending your fingers for 5 minutes. Like she was doing different things with the arm all the time. It never really got repetitive to me. And it just remained tenacious and vicious the entire runtime of the match. And then the finish with the crossface. Obviously, I'm going to pop. I love that she started using that. Heel Roxanne, maybe one of the best technical wrestlers the WWE has right now, especially now that Danielson is in AEW. And yeah, I love it. It's still, it gives me hope that the technical wrestling I love still has a future because I'm really worried that one day it's just going to be entirely informed by the Brit Rest philosophy. And if you're going to do that, at least follow Zack Sabre Jr. because I think he's the best instantiation of it. But yeah, she's absolutely incredible. A love letter to the style I love. And yeah, again, if it wasn't for the other two, she'd absolutely be number one technical wrestling at its absolute best. And her being as young as she is, she might go down as one of the most decorated women of all time. That, however, far remains to be seen. So we'll see. Who is next on your Fave Five for NXT?
Numero dos on my NXT list. I mean, he certainly doesn't look like Shaft. It's Dijak.
Yes. Good shit, man.
I'm glad that you mentioned him in your honorable mentions, man, because man, he's also another one that's really been putting in the work lately, and I feel like one of my favorite parts about doing these Fave Five lists is just embracing my inner recency bias, because it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, that's what these are for. It's like, what have you done for me lately? And Dijak's done a lot for me lately, including being 1/3 of one of my match of the year candidates, one of my 5 match of the year candidates. I only have 5 so far through, I guess, like 3 1/4, 3 1/3 months. 3 1/3, 3 1/4 makes more sense. But yeah, Dijak's been fantastic lately. He actually cut some great promos in the build up to Stand and Deliver, and then he absolutely stood and delivered in the match at Stand and Deliver. He was awesome as always. I mean, he's one of those guys that like you and I both just know, like if you give him the ball, he's gonna score with it. He's excellent at what he does, and he has been for a really long time. And it's just like, why is he doing this in NXT when he should be doing it on the main roster? I guess I'm glad he's
Absolutely.
doing it in NXT because it gives him an opportunity to work with Oba Femi, and I'm hoping that we get that singles match very, very soon, preferably at the next big PLE that NXT does. But still, like, he should be on the main roster. Frankly, they both should be. But like, yeah, they should be doing this on main roster PLEs, not NXT PLEs.
Yeah, I mean, complete agreement there. Number two for me, obviously the 2-1 combination here. Obafemi.
Okay,
Um,
I thought you'd have him at 1. Okay.
no, not only because the other guy that you should figure is at one did a lot of NXT stuff this quarter, more than even main roster stuff. I feel like towards the end.
Okay.
So yeah. But I mean, Obafemi, I feel like he's gonna be your number one because you haven't mentioned him yet, like explicitly. So
Yeah,
I
I
won't
mean, I
even
might as well just say, yeah, he is.
Yeah, so I won't even talk that long because I want to hear you sing his praises. But it's fucking Obafemi. Like that is the argument. The dude's an absolute unit. 25 years old and is one of the most complete packages at a young age I've seen. I will say since a Brock Lesnar, maybe even more so because let's be real, Brock posted on Heyman a lot in his first run, but Oba has that confidence and charisma straight away to speak on his own. And it's compelling and it's just so good. It's just so good. I'm telling you, if this dude isn't headlining pay-per-views in like 3 years and winning fucking world titles, I already am convinced I don't understand a damn thing about the business. And I'm sure a lot of veterans would be like, yeah, you don't. Sit the fuck down, Mark Henry and Bully Ray. Nobody asked you. But I will say, like, if he's not doing that in that span of time, my finger is just nowhere near on the pulse. It's ice freaking cold. This is a dude you build a company around. This is a dude that if you have him as a heel, you give him the long Gunther-esque title reign because people will pay to see him get beat. And if he's a babyface, you're gonna pay to see this dude beat ass and do it with all the charisma in the world. You can't go wrong with this dude. I really believe. I mean, you can. WWE has shown that acts that I thought you couldn't go wrong with. You can if you try hard enough. But he's just so naturally gifted. It would have to be a concerted effort to make this dude fail. But now, because he's your number one, continue the praise, good sir, of our Nigerian God King.
Yes, yes. I mean, did you see that part of Stand and Deliver when he had two 6'5" plus 260 plus pound men on top of his shoulders at the same time?
Oh, you mean did I see the triple decker meat sandwich going on there? Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, yeah, he did that, and then he took a few steps with them on his back before dropping them in like an attitude adjustment type drop, and it was fantastic. And that's just one of the many impressive feats that he did during that match. His promo game, as you mentioned, was strong. I also just love the whole presentation. His theme song is good. I've actually listened to his theme song. It's good, but what really makes it great is the way that he walks to the rhythm of it, and I'll even add in the crowd doing the random who in like the tune to the beat as well. That adds to the song, in my opinion. I think that the whole package is incredible. Like, would Trick Williams' theme song really hit as hard if the crowd wasn't singing "Whoop that Trick" along with it, and you didn't have Booker T's little ad libs thrown in there as well? Like, it's the whole package with Trick, but it's also like that with Oba. Like, it's everything.
Yes, absolutely.
That's all I got, man. Oba's the future, man. Like I keep saying this about like because we like to compare Oba to Omos because they're both Nigerian wrestlers and they're so starkly different from each other in so many ways. I like to say basically that Omos is sort of like that great Kali Big Show, like he's really big, so people will pay just to see him do whatever. It doesn't really matter. But like Omos is Batista. Omos is a star. He is going to be a moneymaker. He's going to move merch. He's going to sell tickets. He's going to sell pay-per-views or PLEs, I guess I should say. He is going to get people to subscribe to Peacock or Netflix or whatever to see him win titles, defend titles, etc. That's who that dude is. He is Batista of this generation. And the beautiful thing about me saying that is he's like 6 years younger now at how good he is already than Batista was when he got into the business. So like he's Batista with a 6 year head start. Like that's insane.
I'm telling you, one final thing before I go on to my number one, which is obvious. I won't even dwell on it that long. Um, for Black wrestling fans, that they have been just so appreciative of everything, and honestly, kudos to them because I'd be feeling far more entitled if I was them after the bullshit I was subjected to over the decades. But they have been so appreciative of like Bianca, Jade, Carmelo, and Trick main eventing Stand and Deliver PLE is the first two black men to do it. We are on the cusp of like the first ever like black top guy, not just world champion, but top fucking guy. It's
And
either good,
honestly,
yeah,
dude, I think right now it is a dead heat between Trick and Oba.
yeah, 100%,
I
100%.
honestly, as much as I love Trick and his connection with the crowd, I'm leaning Oba personally. I think Oba has it more than Trick, and I think mainly, I think it's a promo thing. I think Trick's promos are just weak right now. Maybe he'll grow into it, but I think Oba on the mic is way closer to being where he needs to be than Trick is.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I agree with you because look at their placements on my list. Like Oba
I mean, yeah,
is
we
running
both do.
away with this.
I've got. I mean, you've got Trick at 6, Oba at 2. I've got Trick at 4, Oba at 1. So we both
Yeah.
have them a few spots apart from each other with Oba on top.
But that makes for such a great rivalry in the future too, because imagine a babyface Trick trying to overcome like a mountain like fucking Oba. Like
I mean,
just
dude, there it is right there. Trick is the fucking Cena or Orton. I guess Orton would even be better. Trick is the Orton to Oba's Batista.
yeah, yeah. I'm telling you, Black wrestling fans, like if you've been waiting for just like when is the company really gonna look like me in terms of that top guy representation, it's coming. I think this generation is finally gonna fucking do it. Yeah, there has never been a better opportunity than this generation right fucking now. It's insane. Like I just feel so overwhelmed and almost like in awe that I'm witnessing this. This same company that did a Triple H Booker T storyline that was overtly racist. The same company that did fucking Crime Time and Kerwin White. Like, we're seeing this and it's incredible.
Wait, you mean
It's
Kerwin White wasn't woke?
yeah, exactly. But it's really, really incredible to witness this. It really is. Time's coming. And really, you could maybe argue that in a way it's already been achieved because I mean Bianca for a minute, I think really broke through the mainstream and did a lot of stuff for the company. But like I'm talking ace of the company type shit with either Trick or Oba, and it's gonna be incredible. But anyway, number one for me, Braun
It's
Breaker.
Braun, yeah.
Fucking obviously. Unit, stud. Probably gonna lose the tag titles tonight because Caillou eats the fucking pin. And
Does
you know, I
Braun
hope
spear him in half afterwards?
I hope so.
Turn heel right
And
before getting drafted so that he can, go after Sammy maybe on Raw?
oh my god, bro. I can only get so erect, okay? Um, but whatever show that Braun ends up on, because right now he is on SmackDown, but the draft could shake him up.
Yep.
If him and Logan remain on the same show, I hope he spears Logan in half and takes the US title. If Sammy goes over to SmackDown with the IC title and Braun stays there, or Braun goes to Raw, whatever. If him and Sammy just end up on the same show, sorry, Sammy. I love you. Not as much as Braun, though, clearly. I just want Braun to take over the world. This is the first guy that could be a top guy that I will not care if it's LOL Braun wins because I'll be the one LOLing the entire time. I freaking love this dude. Best spear in the business. Don't even take a fucking number, Oldberg, because you're not even competing. And yeah, I just can't wait for this dude's stacked career.
Oh yeah,
That
did you hear? Yeah, everyone's using the spear as a part of their moveset nowadays.
Yeah. Oh my god, this fucking dude. But that's all I gotta say about Braun. I mean, you're gonna have plenty of time to hear me gush over him, trust and believe. But let's move on to AEW, which I hope is our quickest list because fuck this company, and I will lead by example because I'm starting with honorable mentions. Number 2, Chris Statlander. Number 1, Willow Nightingale. So yeah, that was
Oh yeah,
that
I,
was
I
it.
didn't have any honorable mentions. I guess if I had to name some, I would say like Statlander, Riho, Christian Cage. I'm out already.
All right. So number 5 for me.
Wait, I forget. Who were your? Was it just Statlander and Nightingale as your two honorable mentions?
Yes, yes, yes.
Chris
Um,
Statlander. Okay, I'm ready.
so number 5 for me, Mariah May.
Nice.
Love her. Love what she's doing, kind of cosplaying as old like rock star Tony Storm. Loving the angle right now where she has to choose between Mina and Tony. This is the most invested I've been in AEW/ROH. Obviously, I'm rooting for Mina and Mariah, to Valeri's out, but I do think she's gonna betray Mina. Like I am rational enough to see it. But I did also say, and I mean this, that Mina and Mariah, they're my golden lovers. I don't give a fuck. I love those
No,
two
I'm with you, man.
so
I
so much.
agree.
Yeah, like it's so beautiful to me. Like I love it so much. So yeah, Mariah's terrific, fucking prodigious, gonna win championships out the ass, and I'm just excited for her. But who starts your AEW list?
My number 5 is not an AEW person, but an ROH person, and that is Dalton Castle.
Nice. I know you've really been a fan of the stuff he's been doing with Johnny TV lately.
Yeah, it's been a really good program, and I also wanted to kind of highlight how much of a piece of shit Tony Khan is too, because apparently Tony Khan basically sabotaged the boys, and then when they couldn't overcome the sabotage, he fired them. So that's great.
Oh shit. Jesus
You didn't
Christ.
hear about this?
I didn't hear about any of this. No.
Yeah, the Tate twins, who were the boys. Apparently, something went down with the scheduling of their travel to get into Canada, where they normally go out of one airport that's like 15 minutes away from their house, and AEW Travel tried to book them for an airport that's 3 hours away from their house. And they don't have a car that works very well. So normally, if they have to drive far, they like to rent a vehicle. But they have apparently been sort of scolded before by AEW management for renting a car without permission. So they were waiting to get clearance to rent the car, and they never got it. So they ended up missing a show because they were unable to rent a car. They didn't want to use their car, and they couldn't get to the 3 hour away airport. So yeah, they missed a show or two, I don't know. And then they got called about being fired, and the person who told them that they were being let go insisted that it was because of budget cuts. But then when Tony Khan was asked why they were fired, he said it was because they no-showed several shows.
Oh, so first of all, that's just a superficial fail on the part of a company to not maintain consistent messaging. So, like, LOL there. And then, second of all, of course, what a fucking scumbag.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Tony Khan's a piece of shit, everybody. Like, if you didn't know already, and I feel like we knew already, but just in case you didn't, here's further evidence to the pile that Tony Khan is not just a bad booker and a bad writer, but and a bad promoter, but just a full blown actual human shitbag.
Yeah. Um, number.
Wait,
Well,
wait, wait!
actually,
I
no.
do want to praise Dalton Castle. Though. I
Of
want to
course,
give him
yeah, I was
credit.
just about to move on, but I'm
Yeah,
like, you haven't
because
even
his
praised Dalton
character
Castle
work
yet.
is incredible. His facial expressions, his acting. This dude could probably be a professional actor if he wanted to, and it would probably be better for his body because he wouldn't be putting his back through hell the way he does.
Yeah,
But he's a damn good wrestler. I think he actually does have that amateur background too. So that's, I
he
mean, he
does. Yeah.
probably wanted to be a wrestler before he wanted to do anything acting wise. Like he probably was like, I'm a really good wrestler. I should get into pro wrestling. And then it's like, turns out like, oh wait, he's really good at like the this, like acting side of wrestling on top of just being an actual good wrestler. So yeah, he's awesome at what he does. And I want to just end it there with praise of Dalton Castle because he deserves it because he's excellent. And by the way, he actually did beat Johnny TV on Supercard of Honor over the weekend. And unfortunately, even though it was to win the boys back, they weren't the actual original boys because those guys were fucking fired.
Way to go, Tony. Way to go. Number 4 for me, Athena.
Yeah, I
Just
would
been
have put Athena here, but I haven't really watched any of her stuff. I wanted like I know I love her as a performer, but like I try not to put anyone on my list who I haven't actually seen wrestle, and I haven't seen her wrestle this period. So I apologize, but now you can go ahead, man.
No, I mean, she's terrific. She recently retained against Hikaru Shida, which I'll admit that I couldn't find this. I tried to even find highlights on YouTube, could not find anything. And you know what? Stuff like that, it makes it so tempting to subscribe to Honor Club. Look, if this was me even like 5 years ago, where I feel like I was more into wrestling, certainly 10 years ago, I probably would have subscribed to Honor Club just for Athena alone without a second thought. But yeah, like obviously I have different priorities, both in terms of necessity and just in terms of enjoyment with my money. So I'm not gonna do that. But I will keep telling everybody if you do have the funds, if you are so inclined, get a subscription to Honor Club and just fucking binge Athena stuff, marathon it because it's been quite an ROH Women's Championship reign. And I'm really curious ultimately who's going to be the one to end it. I honestly couldn't tell you.
Bro, I still think it's gonna be Yuka. I'm telling you right now because she was on Collision this past Saturday. It's gonna be Yuka.
And that match is going to be that. I'll tell you something, bro. That match might just be the one where I'm like, fuck it. I get an Honor Club subscription and I see it because that to me screams match of the year contender. Like, honestly. Hell, the match she had with Sheeta, I'm thinking they probably had one because Sheeta's awesome. And so, yeah, I just love the match quality that she's been having. Her promo work, which is mainly what I'm grading on because I still see that stuff on Twitter, is
Nice.
fantastic. I don't really care much for Billie Starkz, and I certainly don't care for how she won the women's the women's TV
Oh, the
championship.
fake injury, yeah.
Yeah, Queen Aminata, who hopefully Queen Aminata gets hers and she's able to like win it back from Billie in a babyface fashion. I think that'd be great. Queen Aminata is fantastic. But I love her and Lexi as the minions, and I feel like Billie probably graduated now after that, so I'm curious how that'll all go. But yeah, Athena's wonderful. Who's
Bro, did you
next on your
see
list?
after the match there was like a backstage segment where Billy Starks was trying to celebrate with her parents and they were like, "We don't approve of the way you won that match." And then she was like, "You guys just don't get me." And then Athena was standing there with open arms and she ran up to her and she was like, "Oh my god, you were so amazing."
That's a real parent right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't like the values you're teaching our daughter. I don't like the faces you raised her with. Who's next on your list?
Oh, just the woman you were praising while talking about how poorly Billy Starks won the title, Queen Aminata.
Nice,
Bro,
nice,
she's
nice.
been such a workhorse for them. It's crazy. I'm so happy for her. I feel like she just randomly got a job with them after like grinding her ass off for years. They were just like, "Oh, she's actually really good. Let's give her a job." And ever since then, she's been working like once, twice, maybe even 3 times a week for them. It's amazing. She's worked so many matches. She's awesome. She's so good. She's really good in the ring. She's athletic. She can sell. She's got great facial expressions, body language, everything, man. She's got a look that's like star studded. Like she looks like a star. She's so good. I can't believe it took this long for anyone, much less AEW, to be like, "Oh yeah, we should probably like sign her and use her a lot."
Yeah, it's been a great get for them, and I hope it's a great thing for her. Is really what I care about. I really don't give a shit about billionaire companies.
Yeah.
May they all suffer.
Yeah.
But people that have to labor under them, like I want you to succeed. I want you to
Absolutely.
get yours.
Yeah.
So yeah, rooting
Definitely.
for her big time. Um, Next for me, Christian Cage. Really only saw him lose the TNT Championship, and I guess what was a decent matchup. I also saw some promos too,
Oh, is that the Edge
mainly
match?
yeah, the Edge match, yeah, the I Quit match or whatever the fuck they had. That was like okay. I saw the YouTube clip of that. I've seen some Christian promos in this time as well. Not really much to say. Again, I wasn't disingenuous with you guys at the start. I really don't care about AEW. I barely care about ROH. I saw that Mark Briscoe won the world title recently, and I'm like, okay, maybe let's relax a little bit.
Bro, I mean, I
Uh,
feel like Eddie Kingston as a world champion is already kind of pushing the boundaries of believability, but to put it on Mark Briscoe, good lord.
I
I mean,
know, and
I don't like to talk shit about anyone who's not around anymore, but I didn't even like it when Jay Briscoe was world champion, but at least his matches kicked ass. His matches were nuts. Mark
yeah.
Briscoe's never been that dude in the ring. Like, he's good in the ring, but he's not that dude in the ring like Jay was.
Yeah, I agree with you 100% across the board. All of that to say that, like, I one of the few things I caught on AEW to even justify putting him on this list, yeah, was Christian stuff. And yeah, I'm looking forward to if he's going to be feuding now with Kill Switch. If now that he's like lost the title, is he going to go back to being Luchasaurus? What's going to happen there? Who I think is still a stud, by the way, and who could do a lot more than what he's been doing. I'm really worried that his career is going to be another big what if, because ever since we saw him in Lucha Underground, I'm like, who the fuck is this unit? Put all the world titles on him yesterday. But
He needs to
yeah,
just go to WWE and work with Dijak and Oba.
dude, imagine him and Dijak in a tag team, bro.
Dude, I
Like,
know. Oh my god.
God, I love you, Archer, but no, they should call that team Everybody
Dude,
Dies
get
because that's
Archer
just
in on
as
it too.
yeah, really. One of the most underrated big men at his age. It's still fucking
Honestly,
working.
Archer and Luchasaurus would be a fun tag team in AEW.
Yeah, 100% agree.
They've already got Snake Jake Roberts to talk for him.
Yeah. Oh my God, dude, absolutely. Who's next on your list?
Willow Nightingale at number 3.
Excellent.
I just adore her, man. She is just such a joy. Every time she's on my TV, she puts a smile on my face. I love her promos. She's good in the ring. I'm not trying to take anything away from her ring work. She's really good at what she does as far as actual wrestling goes. But man, her look and her promos just always put a smile on my face. She's just so lovely and just such a bundle of joy, man. I just adore this woman. She's just so fun and happy and positive and wholesome. I just love it.
I will say about Willow, even though she was like in my honorable mentions, although like at the she was close to breaking through, which really actually should be seen as a bigger compliment because when you're close to breaking through on a company that I really don't give a shit about in AEW, that like because I even saw like one of her promos on Twitter where she like thanked all the fans and the fans were like genuinely behind her. I think what makes Willow work, and God, Cody should take every note imaginable. She's not artificial. She's not fake.
Mm-hmm.
Like she's so sincere, none of it. None of it feels contrived. Meanwhile, I have to watch this fucking douche canoe cry at his own video package. Jesus, like I want to be perfectly clear here
guys,
because
guys, I remember when I did that. It was beautiful.
first of all, pop. Second of all, we pride ourselves on being more of a leftist podcast. I won't even say progressive. That word's kind of been stained for me,
Yeah,
just
thanks,
by the US.
Jake.
Yeah. But so I don't want to like perpetuate toxic masculinity, but be like, look at that man crying. Like, obviously it's okay for men to cry, but like to me, there's no sincerity in his tears. That's the problem.
Dude, it's fucked up that I feel like MJF and Cody have ruined men crying for me.
Dude, I don't even blame you because again, it goes back to that insincerity.
Dude, I know.
Um,
It's so disingenuous. Like, fuck you both.
Like when Eddie cried after winning the title, I felt that shit. Because I'm like, that man went through hell to be able
Even,
to call his wife and be like, hey, honey, you don't have to pick me up from jail today because I wasn't drinking. And in fact,
dude.
I'm coming home to you with the world fucking title. Like it
And
was earned.
dude, I can't even give you an example of someone in wrestling in the last 4 years who cried as a bit. In other words, like they were acting, they were crying, fake cry, like to try and do an angle, and it was more real feeling than this. Roman in Hell in a Cell.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, I'm going to continue to date myself using the older examples, but even when Mark Henry fake cried to lull in Cena, I
Yes,
bought that more. Fucking, I'm just, and God, God. So no, I want to make perfectly clear. There is nothing wrong with men crying as like emotional response, being emotionally in touch, whatever. When it's insincere, pandering bullshit, like I fought so hard and you guys mean so much, and it's like, oh my God, you're just trying to get that response of like, oh, of course, we love you, this and that. No, fuck you. Fuck your insincerity. Who the fuck was I even talking about when this all started? Uh, um,
Christian Cage.
yeah, well, oh my God, am I still on that? Did we not go to your next? Oh no, you were talking about Willow Nightingale.
Oh
That's
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Okay, so yeah, Willow Nightingale and how sincere she is. Like,
Yeah.
if she would cry winning the AEW Women's World Championship, I'd be like, yeah, Willow, you deserve it because I guarantee you that woman occasionally has imposter syndrome. That she's probably thinking, am I good enough to be here? Look how many talented women are working today. Do I have a place here? Yes, the fuck you do. We need fucking baby faces that are actually sincere. Please, Willow, do not leave us because if Cody Rhodes comes to define what a baby face is, I cannot stress this enough. We are categorically fucked. I will triple down on loving heels until that era ends on God. Nah, she's fantastic. So next up for me,
Female Abel.
yes, Abel, you fucking king. God, I love you. Next on my list, Swerve Strickland.
Oh,
Again,
okay.
much
Well, I
like
mean, dude,
Kate.
we might as well talk about this together because I have number two being Mogul Embassy.
Oh, nice. I'll be quick, man. What really is there to say? He's got a strong crowd correction connection now. His matches have still been on point. I know he had that segment with Joe, and they're getting ready to do the match at the pay per view, which I'm almost tempted to watch, but like I feel like Swerve isn't gonna get it, even though he should.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, I just think Swerve when I drive, baby. He's got everything clicking right now, and he's awesome. So what do you want to add about Mogul Embassy?
Bro, Swerve should definitely win the title there. Like I know it's fun to dunk on AEW, like haha, Tony Khan fumbles every bag, but like there's no way he should be fumbling this bag. This is the one bag that I really don't think that we can count on him to fumble because it's just too obvious.
If he does, are you going to do the Ashton cackle? Just the one where you just throw your head back with the reckless abandon and
I
just,
don't know if I'll have the energy for it, man. I don't know, man. I don't know. But yeah.
you'll just be looking at the screen and just being like, how? How the fuck did this happen?
Yeah. So yeah, Swerve's really special talent, really special performer. He did fall. I mean, the Mogul Embassy as a unit did fall for me. I normally have them at one on my AEW ranking, and they're number two here. So I feel like that's kind of notable.
Yeah.
Um, I do feel like he has cooled off a little bit, but I will say
Yeah.
that segment with Joe, where Swerve was like, "I love this shit." Oh my god, that was like goosebump inducing. Oh my god, that was so good. But yeah, man, I just I wish the other members of the Mogul Embassy would get literally anything at this point. Like they're badasses until you look at their win-loss record. They're just chumps at that point.
I hate factions like that, bro. Because you
I
and I,
hate
we've been
when
here
they get
before.
booked like that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
Um,
you literally, if you look at any of the individual members of the Mogul Embassy and just pretend it in your mind that they're like 31 years old, which I know Cage is like 40, but if you just pretend in your mind that they're like 31, 32, 33, you're thinking like, oh my God, this person's going to be a main eventer in WWE within the next 5 years because they're all just that good. Like they have the look, they're in the ring good, they've got certain aspects about them that make them look like they could beat the shit out of just about anyone. Like they've got the whole package. But then you actually like look at the way that they're booked, and it's like, oh wow, these guys are chumps. It's so bad.
it is. It really is, man.
And by
Number
the
one
way,
from
I was doing the age thing because I know, like I said, Brian Cage is like almost 40, I want to say,
yeah,
but Toa Leona legitimately is like 33 years old.
yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know how old Bishop Khan is though. I can't imagine he's that old though. He might even be in his late 20s for all I know.
yeah, yeah. I wonder if one day you'll ever find out how old he is.
34.
But
He's 34. I just looked it up.
well, there
He's
you go.
34. So yeah, both of those guys should be WWE main eventers within the next 5 years. Probably not going to happen though because they're booked like chumps by AEW, and I'm guessing that they're just going to kind of coast and deal with it and just hope that maybe one day Tony will give them a crumb.
Yeah, god damn it. Number one for me, Samoa Joe. I have
Wow.
sung, I have sung this man's praises for years. Obviously Swerve should beat him for the title, but I have still enjoyed Joe as world champion. I even enjoyed recently when Swerve beat the ROH tag team champions by himself. That heel moment that Joe had, where like, yeah, it was cowardly to attack Swerve from behind with the coquina clutch, but he did it with such menace. Like it's still Joe, and like I just feel like when a guy with the presence of Samoa Joe does something, even if it's typical chicken hit shit heel bullshit, it just has an aura of respectability to it that only he brings. Love him on the mic. I love how he carries himself with that title. I've got a hot take for y'all. I think Joe comes off more as a professional CEO than Tony Khan ever did. The way this man carries himself in a company, especially in a position of responsibility, he makes AEW respectable. Tony Khan sure as shit ain't fucking doing it. I'm happy for him. I'm happy for him that he got to have this run. I know there was a stigma around him for a little bit. Oh, he's injury prone. Oh, this and that. People memeing about him wearing the poncho out in the rain for that one Mania. No, this is fucking who Samoa Joe is. Dude's an absolute beast. I think, I even remember back when he came to TNA and he went on that huge undefeated streak. I think when Joe's career ends, we'll know that we saw somebody special. Just again, much like a Gunther, so believable, so legit, and just I love it. But I do hope the title reign comes to an end soon. He passes the torch Swerve. What he does after that is anybody's guess, but I just hope he has fun doing it, whatever it is. So, who rounds out your AEW list?
Well, you've already mentioned this person. I'm a little bit surprised that they weren't higher up on your list because you literally mentioned that they were making you pay attention to AEW, and they're doing the same for me. Uh, Mariah May is number one on my AEW ROH list because,
There you go.
frankly, she's the only reason I tune into anything AEW related anymore live. I will literally put an AEW show on, and if it is some bullshit that I actively dislike, I will literally change the channel. I'll put on like a Disney Junior type channel to watch Bluey until I can flip back and see that something is on that I don't actively dislike. And then I'll just keep it on until Mariah May comes on, and that's when I'll pay attention. Like if there's not something on that I actively dislike, I'll leave it on in the background. If there's something on that I do actively dislike, I flip over to like a Bluey type show that I can just kind of putter to. And when Mariah May's on TV, I pay attention. I watch her matches, I watch her promos, etc. And that is for Dynamite and Collision. I don't really fuck with Rampage anymore. And I tuned into the Supercard show for ROH for Mariah May because she had a pre-show match. I tuned into the pre-show for Mariah May because she had a match with Momo Kogo actually. I tuned in for that. Mariah May is literally the singular thing keeping me invested in anything really related to AEW right now. She's the only thing keeping me around, honestly. And I feel like you probably felt that way too, which is why I'm surprised you didn't rank her higher.
Ranking her a bit higher would be disingenuous because I still haven't seen like her actual matches. I've just seen
Oh
more
yeah.
promo stuff,
I mean, yeah, she's
and,
still
like
as
her
good
and
as she
stuff.
was in Stardom. It's not like she's lost a step or anything. She's fucking great. She's excellent. Her
Oh,
match with
yeah, I
Kogo,
believe it.
her match with Kogo was better than most AEW women's matches I've seen over the course of the last few years. Honestly, it was great. Which again shouldn't be surprising. You and I both know Kogo's an excellent talent when she's allowed to actually flex. Um,
Absolutely, bro. Yeah.
but yeah, man, Mariah May is. I get like Jamie Hayter 2.0 vibes. Like she's like this girl that was in Stardom that comes to AEW and then gets to do jack all while being a supporting character for someone less talented than her.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I can't wait
Ugh.
for Mariah to win the women's title. I hope that we get a story where she wins the title from Tony herself. I doubt that'll happen. But the thing that really intrigues me is what are the odds of us getting Mariah May versus Jamie Hayter at Wembley this year? That's what I fucking want to see.
I mean, dude, if we get that match, you and I might even just have to live react to that match. Oh, that sounds dope.
Dude, I think
Um,
I actually drafted Mariah in like the third round of a recent fantasy draft in the Discord. Like I see the world in this woman.
yeah, as you should. As you should. Again, I didn't rank her higher only because that would feel a bit disingenuous for me. But yeah, like
Just to sing
she's
her
fantastic.
praises one last time before we move on to the Stardom lists.
Yeah.
Mariah May is somebody that my mom, when she first saw her, hated her because oh, she's a wrestling Barbie. Ew. Nowadays, she misses her. She says, "Oh, I miss hearing Mariah sing ring announcements in Stardom."
Yeah. Yeah. We've already got
That's
your
like
Barbie covered with Tiffany Stratton, so
that's what I'm saying though. Is like that she's won my mom over, and my mom is like weird about women's wrestling sometimes, and like
yeah.
she especially like like the Barbie looking women. She doesn't like them usually, and Mariah was good enough to win my mom over. Like that's I feel like that's just it's such a what's the opposite of an indictment? Endorsement. She's just such an
Yeah.
endorsement for Mariah that she's so goddamn good that like anyone who just judges her based on her look most likely ends up regretting it if they are even remotely open-minded enough to be willing to admit that they were wrong about their initial investment in her.
Yeah. Yeah, she's next level, bro.
She
I
is
really hope she yeah,
fantastic. But yeah, that's why
absolutely.
she's number one on my AEW ROH list. So now we can move on to Stardom, and I guess I go first here, right?
Yes, you do, good sir.
Honorable mentions, number 10 through 6, basically, in order. Momo Watanabe at number 10. Ami
Nice.
Sode has made her way onto my list because her matches in the Cinderella tournament really impressed me. I loved her Cinderella tournament matches. Starlight Kid at number 8. Julia, for the last time ever, at number 7. And finally, falling out of my Fave 5 for the first time since the first Fave 5 we did after her return, Hazuki.
This makes things interesting. Okay. Honorable
Blame
mentions.
Koguma, she ruins it.
I know. Fuck you, Koguma.
Hazuki needs to find better friends, man.
She does. Number 5 for me. So again, working from
Oh,
10 to
you didn't?
6.
Oh, okay, you are okay.
So yeah, I should say number 10 for me. Mayu Iwatani, Xena, Micah, Hazuki, Saya Kamitani.
Nice.
All right, so who is number 5 for you in your Fave 5?
Well, I love Stardom wrestlers a lot, and I don't want you to be upset with me, but I just ranked 4 women higher than her. It's Utami, number 5.
That's okay, man. I get it, and hell, I'm gonna have to get used to her not being on any list, except maybe number 1 on the other list because she's done with Stardom as of this week. Actually, the 12th is supposed to be her last day with the company, from what I heard. So
Wow, yeah, because there's going to be like a special Aphrodite produced show, I believe, right?
yeah, that's my understanding. I hope her and Kamitani share a heartfelt moment where they declare their love for each other. I know they're not gonna leave together, but that's okay.
You
That's okay.
never
But anyway,
know.
yeah,
You never know. Anyway, yeah. Um,
yeah. I have plenty of time to be depressed. Sing
but
sing
yeah,
the praises of our Red Queen.
she. I mean, I don't want to take up too time because I know that you're going to have her ranked higher than me. So I'll just say Utami makes my heart flutter. She's beautiful and physical and dominant and strong, and I look very much forward to seeing her in Rossi's new promotion. I'm assuming she's just going to be the ace because Julia is only going to be there to help get it off the ground, and then she's WWE bound, as evidenced by this weekend. So
Yes.
Utami is the ace of Rossidom. I'm very curious who they're going to bring in to be her challengers because I'm assuming she's also going to be their first champion. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch her journey as the new ace of a new company. I'm looking forward to that as well. But for now, just exclusively based on the last 2.5 months of her actual work, she still managed to crack into my top 5 in Stardom alone. And that's even with like a month worth of shitty God's Eye matches that we skipped over.
Yeah. Um, you're right. I will have plenty to say about her, but we'll save that because I have quite a little something prepared. Well, kind of. 5 for me, Azumi.
Nice.
I am so ready for this woman to get her time to shine like big time. I thought she looked so good in the Cinderella tournament. I really wanted her to make the finals, man. I mean, the finals were fun between Ami and Hanan. I thought it was a great callback because, again, Ami did beat Hanan for the future title. So, like, now the stakes are bigger. How much has Hanan grown? But Azumi is just so good in that ring. So technically proficient, great personality. That's one thing I miss about the old Stardom. I miss when these women really got to talk, like all of them, because I feel like we haven't seen Osmi's personality in a minute. Maybe I'm misremembering, but I feel like, when's the last time she called anybody a grandma? Like I want to hear that Osmi bite again. I hope she gets a challenge for the white belt this year. I definitely think she deserves to. I think she's absolutely exemplary as a competitor. And yeah, with this shakeup in Stardom, I'm guessing it's going to be Kamitani's Queen's Quest, but I'm telling you, I'd
Yeah.
really be curious what an Azumi Queen's Quest would look like and how it would be governed and how it would be presented. She's amazing, and I know DBK adores her. Maybe he'll be mad at me that I had her low, but I feel like it's even been a while since I've had her like in the top 5. So this is just me saying I know I've been a shitty parent because we used to have that bit where we were both like kind of cheering her on like soccer parents. But she is incredible. Make no mistake about it. And I hope one day she's united with that white belt because that would be a reign to remember. So who is next on your Stardom Fave 5?
Yeah, before we do move on, I do want to say I actually did have her ranked number 5 in my August Fave 5.
Yeah.
And I also had her at number 5 in my April post Mania Fave 5 last year. But prior to that, man, I mean, I had her at number 4 in my November 2022 Fave 5. I'm trying to find the last time you had her in your Fave 5. I had her at number 4 in my September of 2022 Fave 5. Let's see. I had her at number 4 again in my 2022 post Mania Fave 5. Bro, this might be the first time you've had her in your Fave 5 in a really long time.
That's what I'm saying, man. I know it's been a while. I know it's been a
I
long
had her all
while.
the way up at number 2 in my August of 2021 Fave 5. And the one before that as well. So April, so the post Mania 2021. There we go. I had her at 1 and you had her at 2 in our February of 2021 Fave 5.
Yeah, wow.
So it's been 3+ years since you had her in your Fave 5.
That's insane. When you quantify it like that, Jesus Christ.
And to be fair, I don't have her in my Fave 5 this time around. I'll just say it right now.
All right, well, who's next on your list?
Number 4, I do have Hanan, though, because she has been on a tear lately.
Yeah, she has been.
This period includes the Cinderella tournament, which she won and put on several great matches, including, I believe, a match of the year candidate with Starlight Kid, I want to say.
Yes, it was. Yes, it
Yeah,
was.
I mean, that alone is fantastic. Uh, Hanan's really just kind of found herself. I think it really started last summer ish. She started finding herself and then teaming up with Mariah May, doing the whole outfit exchange, doing some more adult things, kind of contributed to her finding herself a little bit more. And yeah, man, getting to work with Mina a little bit. I just doing the sexy dynamite princess thing. She's really found like herself as like an adult woman at this point, and she officially does turn 20 in August, so she will be seen as an adult in Japan. So it's fortunate for her that she kind of found herself before then. But man, her wrestling has shown it too. She has really stepped up, and she went from feeling like what they call a JK wrestler to being an adult, actual full blown wrestler over the course of the last year or so. And it has been fantastic to watch her bloom. And she has grown into one hell of a wrestler. And yeah, she gets the number 4 spot for me.
Number 4 for me, Starlight Kid.
All
I
right,
think
nice. Yeah, I had
I
her at
think
8 basically.
I think she's been cooking in ring. I've really enjoyed it, and I don't think she's ever felt closer to the Wonder of Stardom title than she does right now. I don't know if she'll win it this year. That's a qualitatively different statement, but she definitely feels like she's hot right now. And personally, I'm gonna go on a limb and say I'm kind of ready for her to leave a tie if she's not gonna lead it, which I don't think she is.
Do you think you're just
I'm
ready for her to start a faction of her own?
Possibly, yeah. Yeah. I know she's young and I know that that might be rushing things a bit, but I'm just speaking for myself. I'm ready to see that. I think she has a lot more to give. I don't know how she'll fare in the new Stardom. Hopefully well. And I just always want her to be happy with where her career is. I know there were some things said about Kid recently, mainly by Sonny, who has now left Stardom, which is why we're never getting English subtitles ever again on fucking Stardom World. But I think wrestlers should advocate for themselves more, and that's what it seemed more like to me was advocacy, not necessarily politicking. And I want her to keep advocating for herself because she is talented and she is young, but she's not naive. I don't think, especially with her parents if there is involved, as again Sonny made it seem. And she can get it done in the ring. I mean, again, you said that match with Hanan was a fucking banger, a match of the year contender easily, and I think she's got so many more in her that I'm really excited to see what the future holds for her. But who is next on your list?
Next on my list, and this is, I just have to point out the significance of this. This is the first time that both Hazuki and this woman are outside of my top 2 since November of 2021.
Damn.
Number 3 is Saya Kamitani.
Wow, dude. Before you said that, I just assumed Kamitani was taking your number one spot. Wow. Talk about it.
I mean, I love Saya, but again, like I have to emphasize, she and Utami have been getting caught up in bullshit, garbage ass, boring ass God's Eye matches for a month out of the last 2.5 months, which is all we're grading on, right? So
Yeah.
it's really hard to rank her super high. If this would include January, I would have ranked her higher because that was when she had that incredible performance in the World Rumble match, like the World Championship Rumble match,
Yeah.
but it doesn't. And like I felt like her match with Micah was good, but not great. I didn't feel like that was like I don't think I even gave that match of the year candidacy. I don't remember.
I don't think you did. No.
I have to look.
I don't think either of us did.
Match of the year. No, no, it's not. The Wonder Battle Royal got match of the year candidacy, but even the World Rumble didn't because of Nana A's bum ass.
Fuck, I hate Nana.
I know. So yeah, Kamitani is wonderful, and I definitely have like a special connection with her. But like setting personal feelings aside, because like I don't want like my personal like basically crush on her to cloud my judgment of her ranking. Yeah, man, I love her and she's incredible, and her being on my TV puts a smile on my face, and her performances, and even like during Ring of Honor, the Supercard show, she was awesome. I loved how well she came off in the 6-woman tag that she was in, but there were 2 other women in that match that I felt like came off better, who put equally as big, if not bigger, of a smile on my face, who I look just as forward, if not more forward, to seeing when we watch Stardom shows. So Kamitani is basically there's a huge gap between my top 3 and everyone else, and Kamitani just happened to be at the lowest of that top 3.
Yeah. All right. Number 3 for me. I'm shocked because I sing her praises all the time, but I just had to be honest about my 2 and 1, one being obvious, and we'll get to them. 3 is Mina Shirakawa.
Wow.
Um, I still love her to death. Do not get it twisted. I still want her to be World of Stardom champion or any world champion for that matter, because to me, she exemplifies everything good and right and true about pro wrestling. I just feel like in this grading period, she did cool stuff, But like, I'm still waiting for that big step from her. I think I'm starting to get a bit antsy with her. Is like, when's the next big thing coming? I know she's with EXV, but to be honest, like, as you can see by this list, like, I like Micah. I like Micah now more than I ever have. I still think Mina's better than her. I still think if Mina were to beat Micah for the world title, I wouldn't bat an eye about it. I'd be like, cool, awesome, let's fucking get to work. Um, but that hasn't happened yet. But I just love how much she loves pro wrestling, and she loves it because she doesn't have to say it in a microphone every 30 seconds or remind us who her family is, unlike other people. You know how she loves it? Because she trains off hours. She gets better off hours. She introduces new stuff in matches that she probably learned off camera. Anybody that plies their craft like that, you don't need to tell me how much you love it because you're showing me how much you love it. And I love how much she loves this. And I love her deeply, 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 deeply. To the point where if Mariah betrays her in this angle she's got going on with Tony, I love Mariah to death, but I might even be able to manage a fuck you, Mariah. I'll recoil immediately afterwards. But like, you don't fuck with Mina Shirakawa. You don't. Look at that face. Look at that face. How would you feel if you did harm to that face? Me personally, I'd feel like a piece of shit. I don't know. I guess I have a conscience or something. So yeah, you don't fuck with Mina Shirakawa. And the world better stop fucking with Mina Shirakawa because I want her as world champion. So yeah, she was an easy number 3 for me. Who's next on your list?
All right. Next up, number 2. You said 3, didn't you? I think number 2 though is what I'm doing next, right?
Yes, number 2 is what you're doing next.
Yeah, number 2. It's been a steady incline for her. She's been moving up my lists for a long time, and this is the highest I believe she's ever been. I have to look real quick. Um, might have been a time that she was okay. So this is tied for the highest she's ever been. She's actually exactly this high in November of last year. It's May Sera.
Oh, dude, I love how much you love her, man. It's so awesome.
I really do, man. She is fantastic. I was disappointed that unfortunately she didn't really get to do as much in the 6-woman tag on ROH as I would have liked, because I really feel like if they really uncorked her and just kind of let her do her thing in an ROH match, she would have the internet ablaze just talking about how, oh my God, this girl is the future. This girl is a prodigy. This girl's incredible. But like, I feel like she was only in the match like 8% of the match.
Yeah.
She did very little in the match. Um, she didn't get to do any of her crazy spots. Like, she didn't get to do the rolling star. She didn't get to do her crazy drop kick. She didn't get to do any of her crazy high speed shit. I think she had one impressive kip up that popped the crowd a little bit, but of course everyone was focusing on Azumi doing it because Azumi was in the ring with her and they were the ones that did it together. You know what I mean?
Right, right, right.
So yeah. But yeah, May, I think this is kind of like a weird point for me where I think I'm just weird about it because like I love Azumi. I think Azumi's fucking incredible. But like I just in my mind, I see so much more in May because I think she's been doing it for less time, so there's more room to grow. Whereas I feel like Azumi is more of like a finished product.
Yeah.
And I see more athletic upside in May, so I feel like there's even more room to grow there
Yeah.
because like yeah, she's got more hops, she's got more speed. Like I just feel like there's more to it as far as like athletically with May. So when I see like people praising Azumi, like, oh my God, Azumi's so incredible and she's so young, I'm like, y'all do realize that she's like maybe 6 to 8 months younger than May, and May can do all of this and has more room to grow. And like, why is no one talking about her? So like, I love Azumi, but there's also like a weird part of me that kind of resents the way that people talk about Azumi because she's the one that gets all of this praise for being this prodigy when May is right there, and my mind tells me like she deserves it more. So yeah, as much as I do love Azumi, I just can't help but feel like May gets shafted because of Azumi's discuss like the way that Azumi is seen by the more like casual fans. Like if you bring up Stardom to 99% of fans, they're not going to know who the fuck she is. But the people who do know who she is still probably won't know who Mesera is. You know what I mean?
Do you think the revelation for you personally of Mesera, like existing and being a wrestler and seeing what she can do you think A, it raised your standards for what high speed is and like can be? And B, with the raising of those standards, do you think it made you like Osmi less? Where maybe Osmi's kind of sedimented, kind of a bit of a formulaic competitor because we see like a lot of what she does. Whereas May, I don't know, there's just like an energy to her, like in your mind. Is that fair to say?
I think there is truth to what you're saying, but I think that they're individuated rather than directly connected. I do think that May has definitely given me a new appreciation for what high speed can be, for sure.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
I don't think that that has caused me to like Azumi less. I think that the thing that has caused me to be a little bit more jaded with Azumi is I just feel like she hasn't done anything innovative in so long. Like I feel like she's
Yeah.
been doing the same shit for years now, and I feel like the last time that we really saw her do anything even remotely new, it was like numero uno, which is cool, but like it's a submission. And I'm like, Azumi, you're supposed to be the high speed bomb girl. Where's the high speed? Where's the jumping? Where's the speed? You're doing
Right.
submissions. And that's always been kind of a weird, contentious point for me with Azumi is like, she's supposed to be this high speed wrestler, and yet her finishers are all submissions. Like, what's going on there? Like, is she trying to be Zack Sabre Jr.? Because I don't know if she's anywhere even close to being in the same league as Zach as far as just fast submission work goes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly, exactly. I get
So
you.
it's like, are you high speed or are you trying to be a submission wrestler? Because it feels like you're trying to make the two work together, but it just doesn't work as well when you do it as it does when Zach does it.
Yeah. Yeah, very
Whereas
I
May
just
is
wanted
like full blown, I'm a high speed wrestler. I'm fast as fuck. I'm going to outspeed you. I'm going to run circles around you. I'm going to wear you out and I'm going to roll you up in ways that no one's ever fucking seen before.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to probe you just a little bit further because I wanted to further contextualize this love for Maezera because anybody that listens to our reactions should know how much you adore her. It's funny how much my brain farts when we do these because there are names I forget about where I'm like, oh right, but yeah, like it's so obvious to anybody that listens to our reactions. I just wanted to further contextualize that fandom, because nothing happens in a vacuum, right? And so I found your thoughts very interesting. Did you have anything else you wanted to say about May before I gave my number two?
No, I'm good. We can move on to you.
All right, next for me, Hanan. I
Beautiful, nice.
I am so into everything she's doing right now. Like, dude, I think you could back me up when I say that I do love Saudayano. Like, you've heard me react to her. I think I've always been respectful of her, encouraging of her, all that stuff. I want Hanan to beat Ano. Like, I'm just gonna be truthful. I want her to beat Ano. I want her to be the Wonder of Stardom champion. Uh, I popped when she beat Mirai, because thank fuck Mirai wasn't gonna win the Cinderella tournament 3 years in a fucking row. I didn't think she would, but you never fucking know in pro wrestling. Um, and then she had that banger with Kid, which like Kid's amazing, but I think Hanan and just her energy was a big part of that for me. And then her beating Ami to the point of actually kicking out of the Fire Thunder fuck sauce driver.
Dude, right? That was
Oh my
nuts.
god, like get this woman away from Ida and those new blood tag titles. It's a waste of her time.
Yeah.
Like, if anything, if you really wanted to give Hanan more of a mentorship and put her in a team so that she could grow, like double down on her and Mayu as team eye contact, which I love that team name, by the way. Um, have them even have like a brief fucking goddesses run if you want. This woman is the future. Like I feel so privileged to be in a time where I'm like, well, I mean, I'm 32, so I'm not on the come up by any means. But like I'm witnessing so many aces like in different companies on the come up. Like we just saw Miyu Watanabe get crowned recently for TJPW. I think that's a huge moment for them. Trick Williams in NXT is cooking Obafemi, Carmelo Hayes, Braun Breaker, and not to even mention the fucking women, Roxanne Perez. Bianca's still doing good stuff, but Bianca is a bit on, on the older side, but she's still, doing her damn thing. Lyra, stuff like that. I feel like we are in an age where so many people are fucking thriving and have the youth to thrive. And given that you and I are still fans of Stardom, I would still say I love Stardom, but love is more of a tentative word than it used to be. I'm not going to lie about Stardom. I'm very excited for Rossydom. But one thing that does keep my love strong is people like Hanan. This woman is just God, I can't wait to see her fully grow into being the ace, and she's already a good ways of the way there.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I said, I hope she beats Ano, and I think their match might even be a match of the year contender. So, who is number one on your Stardom Fave Five?
Before I say this, I just have to ask. We know that there are these 5 women that have been named that are going to be leaving Stardom to go work Rossydom this year. And by the way, speaking of, I actually saw Rossi tweeted something about he's going to be making an announcement regarding his promotion within the next week. So that should be cool.
I did see that. Yeah, I'm on bated breath for that.
But what I wanted to ask you is, do you think that we're going to see another potential exodus within like around this time next year where Mayu leaves and maybe other women that want to follow her, like maybe Hanan, maybe Kid, maybe Kamitani's like, working here is okay, but I really miss my sister and I want to go work with Utami and Rossydom kind of like situation like that,
Yeah.
Like I'm wondering if like next year we're gonna have another situation like this where there's another whole new crop of women that are like, Mayu's leaving, I want to leave with her, and then also other women that are like, this is okay, but I really want to work with those other women in that promotion, so I'm gonna jump ship. You know what I mean?
Yeah, bro, it's too early to say right now, obviously, but if you put a gun to my head, I would say, yeah, another
Yeah,
exodus is coming.
yeah.
And for two reasons. And really, it comes down to these two reasons for a yes or a no. We have to see how Rossydom does in terms of like press and how Rossi organizes it. I mean, if you love classic Stardom, you should love Rossydom because Sonny's following him, so you know you're getting English subtitles. So they're like, hey, foreign fans, come with us. We're not alienating you actively. And then you really have to see how the Stardom scheme, especially as it relates to the performers, are they happy with their spot on the card? Are people getting pushed that weren't getting pushed in the Rossi years that might feel a bit, entitled? Like, yeah, I'm finally getting my piece of the pie. I ain't fucking leaving. I'm finally eating good. It's contingent on so much, but yeah, I could definitely see another mass exodus. But circling back, who tops your Stardom list? I'm curious.
The Venus.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
Awesome.
It's Mina. I will say this was definitely somewhat informed by her performance at the Supercard show.
Yeah.
She's just and her work that she's been doing lately with Mariah, her work in ROH contributed a little bit, but just in general, I mean, bro, I feel like our selection of matches also kind of informs this selection because I feel like we consistently are like excited when we get to react to Club V or God, I said Club Venus. God, I missed that group. When we
Yeah.
get to react to EXV matches, when it's Mina and Xena, or Mina and even like Waka, or Mina and even Micah, like we just love reacting to their stuff because Mina is just so fantastic. Like,
She is, dude.
yeah, like watching the TJPW show with you last Wednesday really like made me remember where she started. Like how long ago it was that we first saw her in TJPW when she beat Camille and you were so angry about it and how far she's come and how good she's gotten and now it's like she shows up at an ROH taping and she gets a reaction and then she, has an okay match with Anna Jay and beats her with Glamorous Collection Mina, and that gets a reaction. And like, she's got this whole like, dude, I was watching the Supercard of Honor show with Craig. Craig was actually in the call, and he had it pulled up on Baked. I want to say with the rest of us. Well, I had it like I was streaming it to the live channel on Discord, so that other people could watch it. And so he was there, and he was watching it, and he had some of the best reactions to Mina's shit. Like when she did Hurricane Leg Screw Mina, he lost his mind. He was like, "What the hell was that?" I was like, "Yes, we're making a fan."
As
So
we fucking as she fucking should.
yeah,
Yeah.
so yeah, Mina, it's just one of those things where we've both loved Mina for so long, and she's just gotten so incredible at what she does, and now it feels like she's finally gotten to the point that she's able to share what she's about with the world, and like it feels like we're kind of getting to experience her gifts and her presence and everything getting shared with the world, and it feels so good, and I'm so happy for her, and I just love her, man. She's just so wonderful.
You're beautiful. She's beautiful. I ain't gonna say anymore because I already got to talk to her at the number 3 spot. number one for me, Utami.
Of course.
You know what's funny, guys, is that Ashton, being the adult in the room, he said earlier about Kamitani, I'm not gonna let my crush on her cloud my judgment. And I'm just sitting here thinking, well, no, that's my job. Um, because I can readily concede, was this grading period that momentous for Utami? No, and Ashton's absolutely right. Because of our select match model, and because they were just working with God's eye an insufferable amount. Like I'll tell you, even if on one of those shows it was Utami showed a singles match, I at the very least I would have been like, Ashton, I want to watch that. Because like those two, whether I like Shuri or not, they have chemistry that I just enjoy every time. That didn't happen. I don't know if it's going to happen. I doubt it. And again, she is finishing up with Stardom this week. I love her though. Like it's one of those things where Utami's like that friend that you could go without talking to for like 5 years, and you have that phone call and you immediately get back in that groove. I don't care how long I go without watching this woman. The moment I watch her again, I'm happy. I'm in that rhythm of like, I love being here. I love watching her do what she does. Um, I worry sometimes with Stardom, and that worry is going to carry over into Raw. And I'm like, am I falling in love with these women? Am I the worst version of like parasocial relationships? Because I'm like looking at her and I'm like, I would fight God for you. I'm just like, bruh, relax. But no, she's brilliant. I've told the story before how when she was world champion, I feel like I took her for granted, and then when she lost it to Shuri, I'm like, huh, I feel something. Is
So,
it
dude, I feel like
depression?
you had that emptiness like I feel with Roman.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly what it was. Because I'm like, huh, depression. What a twist. I like, I, I kind of interrogated that. And then when she had the cervical hernia, I got so scared for her because
Yeah.
she's so young and neck injuries aren't a fucking joke. Like Big E, understandably, by the way, is still like, oh, returning to the ring. I don't know, man. It's kind of a risk. I never expected somebody to drop me on my fucking head, and I kind of like not being paralyzed.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, E, I don't fucking blame you, my dude. Like, I'd be the first one to cry sincere tears, unlike Cody, if your fucking music hit, because that Wale theme is a fucking fire. And I like, dude, if Big E would ever return to the Rumble, I would root for him to win that Rumble. Fuck everybody else. I'd be like, throw their ass over the top rope. But if he never comes back, I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense. Same with Utami. She's so young, had that cervical hernia, and it's like a neck's always gonna put you on borrowed time. But Utami's like, I'm a beast. Like I still have more to give, and she does. Like I enjoyed the world title match with Micah, even though I knew she was losing. I was hoping she'd pull a CM Punk because God, it'd be the most attractive pulling a CM Punk ever. Because Lord knows Felonious wasn't doing it. I'm excited for her in Rossydom. I really hope she gets to win the world title in Rossydom, so I get to mark the fuck out again. I feel like I haven't really had many standout mark out moments, mainly because I got spoiled on Hanan winning the Cinderella tournament, so I couldn't even really like feign that. Um, but no, she's incredible. Again, not much this grading period, but it's quality over quantity. And every time I watch her, it's like it's my fucking happy place. It really is. And I'm always gonna love her and support her. And I just want to say on a personal, because I did say I would take more time on this. Um, I'm so lucky. I'm really so lucky, and it's so easy to be cynical or be negative in wrestling, especially when you look at pro wrestling fans. Um, and just like I'm very misanthropic towards other wrestling fans, I think by and large. But I really am very lucky that I've gotten to enjoy this journey multiple times, because I've said when Benoit died, like I even wondered if I would still watch wrestling because that was such a traumatic thing and obviously a horrendous and heinous thing for the industry and for the immediate lives and the innocent lives and stuff like that. And then Morrison happened, and I'm like, oh man. And then I got to see him win the world title in Lucha Underground. And then I think after that, my fandom kind of peaked because I really have never been into as much of like anything that he's done since because I feel like Lucha Underground just really got it with him. And then Kairi, and then I never thought I'd wane on Kairi, but to be honest, like her as a heel, it's like okay, cool. If she ever turns babyface Pirate Princess and feuds with EO, that might be her best shot to take the number one spot. But I'm like, oh, is it going to happen to me again? I guess what I'm trying to say is with a wrestling fan, I always wonder if we ever feel like we're on borrowed time. Like, how many favorites can I possibly have in one lifetime? Right. And I'm so thankful that it happened to me again with Utami and that she's so young and that I just do see it stinking because there is just a magnetism to her that I don't see waning. And if it does, and I'm proven wrong, if like older me is like, wow, what a jackass, I'll always be grateful that it at least happened with her. And that I hope that when I look back on that, it happened with somebody else. But it's happening with her right now. And I'm so grateful because there was a time where I never thought it'd happen again. And which is why indirectly I have to thank Morrison because kept me in the business long enough where it could happen again and again. And it just shows that the lotus of love does indeed bloom twice, or in many cases, many, many times. And we should be grateful every time it happens. So thank you for making my lotus bloom, Utami, my Red Queen forever. Long may you reign, and may there be more world championships in your future. Rossydom, here we fucking
Oh,
come.
she's gonna win that title real quick.
And you know
She's
I'm
gonna
all
be
pop.
their inaugural champion, bro, for sure.
I'm all pop real quick too. I'm gonna last about as long as Drew's world title reign. But but
Wow, you went there. You fucking went there.
I did. I love you, Drew. It wasn't an antagonism. Remember, when it comes to CM Punk, it is on site. But yeah, that closes out that list. So now on to our other list, and I believe I begin with honorable mentions, correct? Or do you?
Yeah, I think you said you had 3.
Yes. Yes. Um, so honorable mentions for me for other. Number 3, Daisy Monkey. I really like that tag team on the last TJPW show we watched.
Nice.
2, Mizuki, so I separated her and Yuka. And 1, Miyu Yamashita. So,
Nice.
who are your honorable mentions?
Well, almost seamlessly, my 10 number 10 basically is Miyu Yamashita. 9, Yuya Uemura from New Japan, because we did react in me
Nice.
beginning this grading period.
We did, yeah, that's right.
Number
God, I
8,
blanked on her.
Minoru Suzuki.
Nice.
Number 7, Pom Harajuku.
Nice. I do like Palm, yeah.
And number 6, Yuki Kamifuku, aka Kamiyu.
Yeah, 5 for me, Yuka Sakazaki. She's brilliant. She's a beast. You keep saying that you feel like her and Athena are on a collision course. I have never wanted your face to be right more.
Dude, I'm gonna
Uh,
laugh so fucking hard if I end up calling that years ahead. Dude, I was literally calling that like early last year when she and Athena were beefing the first time. I was like, yeah, Yuka's gonna be the one to do it. And Yuka got hurt, and we just because it's Tony, he was like, oh, well, I don't know how to pivot, so we're gonna just keep the title on Athena until Yuka can come back to win it from her.
yeah.
That's
God,
Tony,
Antonio.
bro. That's such a him move.
God, Antonio, you're so inadequate.
Wait, I thought it was
Um,
Anthony.
yeah. But Yuka's just amazing, and whatever she does, I think she's one of the more understated gifts to women's wrestling right now. Especially because WWE is blowing up big business and stuff, and I think that WWE bubble, like it's grown larger in a way, and it's enveloped more people. And this isn't even a diss to WWE because I am enjoying by and large what they're doing right now, save for Cody, which Jesus fucking Christ. But like really, go out of your way to see what else is happening in the wrestling world because those people like that's why I credit Bailey on the press conference for wearing a Jada Stone t-shirt. I didn't know who she was until Bailey wore that shirt. Now I'm inclined to check out some of her matches, and I hope to because apparently she teamed with Mayu recently in a tag match,
Nice.
which was like wow. And yeah, she's apparently young as shit too. So like, there's
Who's this
always
now?
things going on. Jada Stone, I believe her name is.
Jada Stone.
Yeah, and Bailey put her over at the
She's
presser.
20.
Yeah, young as
Oh,
shit, dude.
that's who you're talking about. The woman that Bailey was wearing the shirt of.
Yeah, exactly,
Yep, yep,
exactly.
yep.
Yeah, I have to check out some of her matches because Bailey put her over big. Like, and that was really cool of Bailey to do, by the way.
Oh,
God, I fucking
wow.
love Bailey.
Yeah, she teamed with Mayu at a Spark show, Spark Trailblaze against Konami and Maya World.
Yeah, she couldn't even believe that it was happening to her. But that's the beauty of pro wrestling. And I'm telling you, Yuka is one of those
Wow.
people. I want her to get on the bigger stages so she can get her flowers because I think it's a career that, could go by in a blink of an eye and people will be like, oh, who's that? Oh, yeah, just the best women's wrestler you've never heard of. So yeah, who inaugurates your other list?
Number 5, Magical Sugar Rabbits.
Makes perfect sense to
I
me.
mean, you put Daisy Monkey together. I don't know why you didn't put them together. But yeah, Majirabi are an amazing team. I agree with pretty much everything you said about Yuka. I honestly, it's funny because I think if I had to rank them individually, I would actually put Mizuki above Yuka for me personally. I just love Mizuki's selling and her acting, and her moveset really connects with me personally. I really love like her stomps and some of her strikes, and the whirling candy is such a beautifully aesthetic move. Um, but Yuka's still fantastic too. I don't want to take anything away from her. She's amazing at what she does, and I really do. Dude, I would love it so much if she really did end up being the one to take that ROH Women's title off of Athena. It would be perfect. You get
Yeah.
you get that proof that Tony Khan is just incapable of pivoting, and you get a pretty damn good result on top of it. It's just win-win, honestly.
Absolutely.
So yeah,
Absolutely.
Magi Rabi get my number 5 slot. Who's your number 4?
Suzuki.
Nice.
Beast, murder grandpa, murder great grandpa, whatever the fuck he's murdering. That's all that matters to me. And he's just absolutely terrific. I'm never gonna get as good at praising him as I did that one Fave Five where I called him the last true legend of professional wrestling, which I stand by that. Dude is a beast. When he still makes that formal announcement that he's retiring, if he does, maybe he just goes quietly into the sunset. I don't know. I'll shed a tear thinking about it because I still think this man is the uncrowned IWGP Heavyweight Champion, and shame on New Japan for never giving him his due. But I really had a lot of fun with the Maki Ito matchup, and not more really to say than that. So who's next on your list?
Am I correct in assuming that you forgot that we did New Japan this grading period?
Oh yeah, I completely forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. So then
absolutely.
I'll help you out here. Number 4 for me, Yota Tsuji.
Nah, hey, winner of the New Japan Cup, baby. Although I think he had his title shot and lost, from what I understand. I don't know if that happened yet, but
Let me actually look it up. IWGP World Title Cage Match. Let's see. Yeah, Naito's still champ. He did successfully defend it against Tsuji in 34 minutes and 26 seconds at Sakura Genesis.
damn, I'm glad they at least went long. Suji, yeah, but hey, this is your
Shingo
time to
beat
talk about
Evil for
Suji.
the openweight title, though. That's pretty cool.
Nice, nice, nice.
Yeah. Um, but still, Tsuji, I mean, I'm not even basing this ranking off of the New Japan Cup win. I'm basing it off of his match with Uemura at New Beginning.
Oh, nice.
The hair
Yeah.
match. Yeah, because that's
Yes.
the
Yeah.
one that we watched personally. And he's just a fucking star, man. He's just awesome.
He really is. Dude's a fucking unit.
Yeah, like I think um New Japan tried to be like, oh, these are the new three three musketeers of our next generation, and they included Narita in it. And I'm like, no, no, no. Narita isn't a musketeer, but Yuya can be one. The other two, though, I think they got right. It was Tsuji and Umino. I think Tsuji and Umino are right, but Narita isn't a fucking musketeer. Uemura, yes, Uemura is right there. He's close. He'll get there eventually. He definitely has more upside than Narita, but Tsuji's already there, and I think Umino's probably already there too, honestly.
Nice. Yeah.
But
No,
we didn't
I'm
watch any
yeah.
Umino matches this time around, so I had to rank Tsuji, but not Umino. But yeah, Tsuji's a stud, man. I feel like Tsuji is low key like Obafemi of New Japan type shit.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Number 3 for me, Maki Ito. You know what's funny about Maki
Sure.
is that I feel like with WWE's like shift, I mean, you straight up had Drew McIntyre on a promo call Damian Priest bondage Undertaker last night. I wonder if they're
He said I'd whip your arse, but I think you might like it.
yeah, I wonder with them kind of returning to a bit of edginess in a way, if like this is the most suitable WWE there could ever exist if Maki Ito had wandering eyes,
Yeah.
because and I only say this because and this isn't my first time that I'm gonna write. It's funny because I'm gonna do something bad, and then I'm gonna praise the fuck out of him with my number 1. But like, fuck you, TJPW, because and I'm not done, again, because we still got my number 2 to get to. But it really astounds me that Maki Ito has never won the TJPW, like the world title, the Princess Championship. Because I'm just sitting here and I'm like, I get the character and I get that would be contrary to the character, but also characters change. And I feel like she's gotten really good over time. And I don't want to like say she's peaked because I don't know if there's like any more room to grow, but I feel like she's pretty much a finished product that if you want to put a world title, like it's ready to go. I thought the match with Suzuki was a lot of fun. I love that Suzuki really didn't take her shit. And yeah, I I feel like she's cooled down a bit, but I feel like she could heat up so easily with the right program, the right story, the right whatever. I still think her social media game is god tier. And I still feel like she gets so much about the business. I just feel like it's getting to a point now where TJPW is doing a disservice to Maki while Maki keeps rendering a service to TJPW. And that's why I'm even mentioning WWE because their climate's changing. And like, I really do wonder if Maki's like, I could work there. I could make it there. And I feel like, yeah, she'd be right. Vince is gone. They're moving to Netflix. I still dream occasionally about that Maki Ito WrestleMania entrance, where she's just singing all the way down that fucking ramp, man. I don't think it'll ever happen, but I guess never say never in this industry. But Maki Ito still being in my top 3 shows, that I still see so much in this woman. I still see so much that she has to give to the industry. And I feel like she's really just starting to peak in TJPW if she hasn't already, but that's just my opinion. So who's next on your list?
And by the way that you described that, I know exactly who your top two are now.
Yeah, yeah.
Number three, though, for me, I'm going to be brief because I know that you have her ranked in your top two. Miyu Watanabe. I've said this already, and I said this during our live reactions, but just in case someone's watching this that didn't watch that, Miyu Watanabe might very well be the best in-ring storyteller in the world right now, especially if you limit it to like under 35 years old.
Yeah.
And she's like, what, 24, 25? She's super young. Let me look it up. Miyu Watanabe. She's 24. She's 24 years old, and she's legitimately like in contention for best storyteller on the planet right now in the ring. She's got among the best ring psychology on the planet right now, especially again like among her like age peer group kind of thing. Um, there's so much that so many people on the AEW and NXT rosters and even main roster WWE rosters could learn from her in terms of in-ring psychology, in terms of storytelling, in terms of selling, in terms of match structure. It's unbelievable how far ahead of her time she is, especially when you consider the fact that this is a girl who didn't start out as a wrestler. She debuted as a wrestler after already being an idol. Like she's idol first, wrestler second, but she has made such an incredible wrestling career out of herself, and she's made such an incredible wrestler out of herself. It is unbelievable how far she has come and how good she has gotten. You could, in my opinion, you could put her in WWF in the Attitude Era, and she would get over. She is that good, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And she doesn't
Yeah.
show an ounce of skin as far as like anything that could be even remotely conflated as sexual, other than maybe like thigh. Like,
Yeah.
if you're one of those weirdos that gets aroused by seeing a woman's thighs, then maybe you could conflate what she shows as sexual. But other than that, you're not gonna. But like, she's just that talented. She's just that good. But I don't want to get too far into it because I know you're gonna praise the hell out of her very soon. But yeah, man, I just can't. I can't imagine that she won't end up somewhere with a larger audience within the next 3 to 5 years. And if she doesn't, then honestly, that's damn near a bigger tragedy than Miyu Yamashita still being stuck in TJPW right now.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Um, gonna try and be succinct about this because I did want to get out at a certain time, and we've done really well because it's not even 7:30 yet. But yeah, number 2 is Camille.
Yep.
What else is there really to say but fuck you, TJPW. Uh fuck you. Yeah, really with actually no, let me put a bit more vigor behind that. Fuck you. Yeah, there we go. That is
Dude,
enough
she
hatred behind it.
honestly, I know we talk about like it would be great if Stardom scooped her up and started using her. No, fuck that. I want her to go to NXT. I want her straight to WWE. She's literally lived in the US before. She speaks English pretty damn fluently. Fuck it. I just want her to go. I want Triple H to see her and be like, oh my God, tall, sexy Japanese woman that speaks fluent English and can throw kicks like no one's business. Yes, sign me up. Like
Yeah.
she's so yeah. She's also 31 years old. So like she needs to go straight to WWE. I want her to get scooped up by the Regal gang
Yeah.
sooner than later, please.
I know she's a bit on the older side in a time when Joshi just seems so prodigious, but again, you can't just categorize and hierarchize talent. Like talent can come from anywhere. Essentially, what I'm trying to say. And this woman's hella talented. I don't know why TJPW is farting around like this, but I do know it's pissing me the fuck off. I know that the two women that I'm really rooting for in Joshi, obviously Kamiyu being one, Maria being the other, and I really don't want to forget about Maria because she's so. You want to talk about underrated? I wonder how many people that are even like hardcore Joshi fans even know who Maria is. I'm guessing a good handful to be fair to them because it seems to be a very in touch fan base. But like, god damn, she's so fucking good. But Kamiyu, the way she lost that match to Yuki Arai, and I was just starting to get into it, and it's like, God damn it. God damn it, TJPW. You always fucking do this shit to me. With Camille specifically. This is why I keep you at an emotional distance. Just when I think, and again, I'm gonna give you your flowers, TJPW, so you're gonna sit there and you're gonna take this fucking tongue lashing as I give it to you. When I think, oh man, TJPW is doing stuff, act like you're Jimmy Uso and you get on your fucking bullshit and you are, I'm gonna be a TJPW. I'm just gonna bury fucking Camille again. Again, one axe kick. One fucking axe kick is enough to get the 3 count on this woman, who could probably do a better axe kick because look at the length of
I
those
mean,
fucking limbs.
bro, one axe kick beat Max the Impaler. That axe kick is booked as way too OP.
Get the loaded item out of the fucking boot. There is something in there. No, this is bullshit. She has such a cool look. Like, honestly, I know that we said once upon a time, not so much now, because I see pictures of him and I'm like, it's almost kind of sad. Like, I'm sure Naito's having fun being world champion and stuff, but I'm like, oh my god, they missed the boat so many years ago. But like we used to say about Naito that he was so counterculture, especially parallel to Tanahashi, that was like almost conservative in a way with traditional Japanese values. There is something counterculture about Kamiyu that I love when she comes out in the leather jacket and riding the bike, and we've seen her even like smoke, which I'm personally not down with. I'm like no bueno on cigarettes at all. If it was a bong, I'd be down, but like, everybody has their limits, I guess. But like, yeah, she's got this vibe. I think I even said in our live reactions, she's the girl that's smoking behind the bleachers in high school. But she's the girl that everybody wants to get to know and maybe is sometimes bullied by. I don't fucking know. But like, I like her look. I think she's great in ring. Some of the stuff she does honestly amazes me because she is a taller woman. Best big boot in the business. Why isn't that the finish? And just never fucking wins anything. Doesn't win the fucking Princess Cup because we got to give that to Mia Yamashita because she hasn't done that yet. Because every big wrestler's career goals just become like a grocery list. I'll just get this Princess Cup alongside with the dozen eggs I need for my fucking breakfast tomorrow. Fuck pushing Kamiyu. Fuck giving her anything. TJPW, I honestly, like in these moments, I just need you to understand that I fucking hate your face and you're never going to be my favorite child. And honestly, I had you, but you're the person when you're out of earshot. I expressed to everybody else how deeply ashamed I am of you. And no, I'm not paying for your fucking therapy. You're going to deal with this wound because you left me to die every time you didn't push this magnificent woman. Fuck yourself. Fuck you harder than Momo Watanabe. Yeah, I said it. Also, good luck, Momo, because I know you're number one contender right now for Micah, but still fuck you anyway. But fuck you 3 times as hard, TJPW. Fuck you. So that's my Kamiyu rant because they're never going to push this fucking woman. And you know what? I go out on Front Street over and over and over and over and over again with these predictions. And I'm always wrong. But you know what? Times like these, I deserve. That's right. That's right. I'm going to use my white male entitlement. I deserve to be fucking right, okay, about this because she is so fucking talented and you constantly dick her over and you're the ones in the fucking wrong. You're wrong, not me. You're wrong. Fuck you. All right. I'm done. I healed my fucking time. I didn't know I was gonna get that angry, but my god damn, man, they keep missing the fucking boat with her, and I'm tired. I'm tired of watching them fucking shove the cylinder into the square. It doesn't fucking fit. Fuck. All right. Who's next on your list?
Surprisingly enough, my number two actually wasn't mentioned by you at all, even in your honorable mentions.
Oh, fair enough. Who is it?
Masha Slamovich.
Oh, of course. Yeah, honestly, seeing this, unlike TJPW, I can have the humility to say I was wrong. That was an oversight on my part. She's terrific, but you talk about it, bud.
Yeah, she is terrific. She was fantastic on the TJPW show. But also, I got to see little clips of her matches with Shuri at the GCW show. Or actually, wait, let me check real quick. I think it might have been Shayna against Shuri, but I did get to see her match with Shayna at Bloodsport, and that was fantastic.
Yes. Yeah, dude, I saw that one GIF where
Oh yeah,
Shayna stomped the fuck out of her, and I'm like,
yeah.
"Oh my god, those two probably had a fucking banger."
And it was Masha's match with Shuri at GCW. Bro, they went to a 30-minute TLD.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, Masha and Shuri went to a 30-minute time limit draw, and Masha retained the title that she was defending, which was the JCW championship. I don't know why it's JCW and not GCW, but whatever. I'm not here to challenge it.
Yeah.
Um, Regardless, Masha really showed me something between those two, or really those three matches. But really, the full match that we watched was the TJPW match, and that was awesome. She was so good in that. I really thoroughly enjoyed that match. And it was, I believe, it was the one against Rika Tatsumi, who is someone that I'm not really too much of a fan of, but Masha put on a great match with her, so I give her even more credit for having a great match with somebody that I'm not that big of a fan of. So Masha got my number 2 spot.
Have you mentioned this already, but isn't Masha only, like, 25 as well? So,
Yes,
like,
yes.
dude, she's on the like yeah, again, I can admit when I'm wrong. I was wrong to not include her in anything because I know how taken I was with her on the TJPW show. I'm like, "Oh my god, she
Do you
slaps."
want a revisionist
So,
history slap her in there somewhere?
um, you know what? To be honest, I put her in the number 4 spot because I've praised Suzuki enough, and Suzuki
So
can
you
go one
would
time.
knock Yuka off your list, put her down at 6, move Suzuki down to 5, and then put Masha at 4.
I just thought I would just take Suzuki away completely, to be honest, because I still want to give Yuka her flowers. So I'd be like, instead of Suzuki at number 4, just keep everything as is, but just
Oh,
slide Masha in
so
there.
put Suzuki in your honorable mentions then instead.
Yeah, there you go. There you
Okay,
go.
yeah.
So yeah. Yeah,
All
because
right,
you're
cool.
absolutely right, man. And she's at 25. I hope her best is yet to come because holy fucking shit. Um, but yeah, number 1 for me, Miyu Watanabe.
Yes.
Congratulations, TJPW. I beat the fucking dog shit out of you a few seconds ago. Now I'm gonna give you your flowers. Don't eat them. Um, yeah, it's about fucking time. It's about fucking time you did this. Yeah, yeah, I know. Um, I mean, it's TJPW. You have to give them the warning. They can't help themselves. But no, you actually, good for you. You made a great booking decision that makes your company look attractive. I didn't think you had it in you. No, really, I didn't think you had it in you. But Miyu Watanabe is a great choice to be world champion. I mean, she's cute as a button, fucking legit in the ring. I loved how much praise you gave her storytelling. I'm like, damn, bro, I know you're gonna let me talk longer, but it's quality over quantity, and you fucking nailed it. You fucking nailed how great she is and why she's so great. I look forward to every title defense she has. I don't know how long this reign's going to be because if you guys haven't noticed, I'm very cynical about TJPW, what gave the game away. But, I hope whoever she drops the title to is freaking worth it because to me, Miyu Watanabe really exemplifies just everything that's good right now about this era of Joshi. And I'm just so happy to see her get her flowers, man. Like this is somebody you build a company around, which again, not taking the piss. I am glad to see TJPW recognize that because TJPW does have a decent roster. These aren't fucking shitters in there. Again, we're in a very privileged time with women's wrestling as a whole, where there are so many talented women coming out of the woodwork. Again, Bailey putting over a 20-year-old Jada Stone. I don't know how good I'll find her yet, but if Bailey sees something in there, who the hell am I to have an opinion, honestly, at that point? And Joshi with Suke Stardom, Rossydom coming up. We're gonna hear something, this week. Um, just a lot of good happening. And I think Miyu again really exemplifies a lot of that good, the youth, just the natural talent, the natural gifts, and just being multifaceted because we know, yeah, again, former idol and shit. And she still does concert performances for TJPW every now and again. Yeah,
Basically every major show.
yeah, really. I'm really looking forward to what the Miyu Watanabe era is going to do for TJPW, because we know, for example, and I know this is kind of a faraway reference, but I'm going to try and tie it all together. But, we always want to know how a champion draws. Nakajima apparently got punished when he was champion. Now he's gone. And I'm actually trying to keep an eye on Nakajima too, whatever he's going to do next. But Noah was like, you drew a low gate, so this isn't happening for you again. It's like, oh, man, but I like Nakajima. And I don't really know if that's all his fault. I'm curious how, Miyu is going to draw. How many people are subscribing to Wrestle Universe to see her championship defenses? I'll be the first one to say I'm probably not going to subscribe to everyone. But if Ashton's like, oh, hey, she's defending against Mizuki, I'm fucking there. Defending against Yuka, I'm fucking there. Defending against Kamiyu, duh. Okay, but like, yeah, it's and even some shitters, I think like maybe she could pull a good match out of them. I'm just really excited to see what she can do as world champion. She deserves this. She's worked hard for it. They didn't. I will give TJPW credit for this. I don't think they waited too long either. I was afraid of them doing that legitimately. I think it still came at a good time. It came at the expense of somebody of Yamashita, who is always going to be credible just because she is in a way TJPW. And yeah, I think this may really signal a new era for them, and I hope they fully embrace what that means. Because if they do, you just have to let Miyu Watanabe do the rest. That's how good she is. So, with that said, I'm sorry, just to check in. Who was your number one again, or did you not give it? I just I have this every show where I kind of forget order.
My number one is not someone that I've mentioned yet.
Okay, so it is your turn. Good. I didn't want to jump the gun because I was about to be like, and with that top 10, but I'm like, no, no. Ashton's here. Be nice. And so I remembered to check in. So no, but I blank at least once every show. But
That's
please,
we were so close to the finish line
I
today.
know, dude. I know. I'm like, I'm finally gonna do it, but damn. But no, man. Who's your number one, bro?
It's Maki Ito. Shouldn't be too surprising to people who know me. She is, she randomly just shows up at number one on my other list every now and then, and this is one of those times. She's just awesome. Um, yeah, her match with Suzuki really just kind of reminded me of everything I love about her. Her selling, her believability, I think, is a really good one. Her entrance is fun. Her attitude, her character, just I've praised Ito so much in the past. There are so many other Fave Five or Five Fave Five videos you can go back to and listen to me praising the hell out of her. I don't want to ramble about it again here, but yeah, Ito's fantastic.
I do just want to ask because I know we're close to getting out of here at a pretty decent time, and I don't want to prolong it. But I mean, you heard everything I said about Maki in my number three spot. You think I was too critical? Do you think there's still a place for her in TJPW? Do you think it's starting to be a bit limiting for her? Like when you think about Maki Ito's future, what would you like to see as a Maki? Because I know what a huge Maki Ito fan you are. That's without question. What do you want
Um,
to see for her?
I definitely wouldn't mind seeing her in WWE, but like, it's one of those things where like there's a certain fear that's been instilled in me because of how weirdly the AEW crowd received her.
Yeah,
Like, I feel like the WWE would do it better, but they would have to do it perfect to really nail it, and I don't know if they're capable of that.
that's perfectly understandable. Do you think she'll ever win the Princess of Princess Championship, or do you think that's
Oh
just so
yeah,
contrary to her character that
oh yeah.
like
No, I do. I think she she strikes me as the type though for it to be like a really long form story. Like she's probably gonna win the Princess Cup. Actually, has she ever done that before?
won the Princess Cup? I don't think so, but I could
I
very
think
easily
she
be
did
wrong
like
about that.
within the last 2 years. Yeah, 2021 actually. So it was 3 years ago she won it.
Okay. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I think I actually vaguely remember that now that you mention it. Cause yeah, I know Yamashita won last year, and
Yeah,
then before that it was Yuka
Yuka.
Sakazaki.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So the fact that she did win the Princess Cup already and then lost her opportunity, I think she's in a prime position at this point where if she wins the Princess Cup this year, I could actually see her winning the title off of it this year.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna remember you said that, man, because I not only to like hold you to it, but also because I really like that idea. So
And
we'll see.
frankly, I really don't see um, a better option to win the Princess Cup this year than her right now.
Right now, no. I actually, and you know what a huge Camus fan and stuff I am, but I'm not gonna be clouded
I think
in this
Kamiyu's
case.
time is coming next year. I think next year is a Kamiyu Princess Cup win.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm really vibing with everything you're saying, man. I think if TJPW followed your scheme, they might get a more consistent fan out of me.
Yeah.
So we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I just wanted to put a finer point on Makito being your number one, especially given my comments earlier about Ito. So with that said, let's get to our top 10.
Yes.
So do you want to go first or should I, friend?
I'll go first. Damage Control at number 10.
No, for me, number 10, Miyu Watanabe.
Number 9 for me, Dijak.
Number 9 for me, Starlight Kid.
That's awesome. 8 for me, Maki Ito.
8 for me, Kevin Owens.
Very cool. 7 for me, Drew McIntyre.
7 for me, Roxanne Perez.
Very nice. 7. Wait. Oh no, I'm on 6 now. 6 for me, Mariah May.
6 for me, Obafemi.
Damn. 5 for me, Saya Kamitani.
5 for me, Braun Breaker.
Number 4 for me, May Seda.
4 for me, Mina Shirakawa.
3 for me, Obafemi.
3 for me, Hanan.
Damn. Okay. 2 for me, the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns.
Number 2 for me, humana, DM Honk, Drew McIntyre.
Nice. And finally, my number 1, Mina Shirakawa.
Number 1 for me, Utami.
Naturally. All right. Beautiful. I love it. This was a really fun Fave 5 video. I really enjoyed this.
Dude, you know what I really, again, not trying to overstay our welcome here, but I really like how much women's wrestling is kicking ass right now, as is evident by both of our lists.
Yeah. I mean, my top
Yeah.
10, let's see. We got Mina, May, Saya, Mariah, Maki, and then Damage Control is 4 women, but we'll count that as 1 so that we're not tilting the scales. So I've got 6 female acts in my top 10. You've got Utami, Hanan, Mina, Roxanne, Kid, Miyu. So we both have 6.
Yeah. Yeah. Really incredible time for women's wrestling right now.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah,
we both have a woman at number 1, by the way.
yeah, exactly, dude, exactly. Like it's crazy. So yeah, guys, thank you so much for joining us for these. Obviously, in just a little bit, like 24 minutes, it's going to be NXT. I hope to be there for that. I'm probably going to be a tad late. We know the Wolf Dogs are defending the NXT tag titles again against Axiom and Frazier. Why?
Oh yeah, I will tell you, by the way, the opening segment is supposed to be a Roxanne promo, and then we're supposed to get the Fallon Henley match first after that.
I might stick around. I might just do like a sandwich and make my rice late. So, I don't know. Because I really don't want to miss NXT because it's the post Mania and post Stand and Deliver NXT. So we'll see. But yeah, that's going to be coming in just a little over 20 minutes. Leave a like if you file out,
I
subscribe.
will say, dude, I have to cut you off because I wanted to get this in. I had our next Fave 5 being July 9th. I didn't know if you wanted to stick to that, if you wanted to do it a little bit earlier, because I figured we could do one July 9th, and then maybe we could do one after, like, the Bash at Berlin and AEW All In and All Out both get done with, and which would end up being in like early September-ish. I didn't know if you wanted to try and do one earlier than July, maybe like early June or something, but that's where I have it penciled in right now is July 9th.
Oh, that's totally fine. Yeah, I wouldn't. No, that's fine. So yeah, early July, July 9th would be our next day 5. So yeah, just one question though, since we're already on the subject. Is that before or after Money in the Bank, or is that around Money in the Bank? I was curious, like, where it falls relative to that pay-per-view, because I know Money in the Bank is in July. It should be
Money
anyway.
in the Bank is literally July 6th. Like the way that I did it was the Tuesday after Money in the Bank weekend.
Perfect. No, that's what I would have preferred anyway. So yeah, you're fine. So anyway, let me just do this over again. Actually, before that, is there anything else you wanted to say?
No.
Okay, then I'm just going to go through this. Thank you guys very much for joining us. Like the video, should file out, subscribe, click the bell icon for notifications so you don't miss any of that TWitWoW goodness. Check out everything we're involved in the description box. Follow us on Twitter and Twitch because we are the best wrestling podcast in all the AWC. And yeah, guys, we'll see you Thursday, I think, for a Stardom recap. Going to be interesting. I haven't even been on Stardom World today. I wonder if they've gotten anything up because I know it's been a bit slower going. They did actually. They got 2 shows up, and I think it was the 2 shows actually that you and I might have already talked about. We're gonna have to reprise what our card's looking like for then. So yeah, we'll definitely be doing stuff. And again, they spoiled a fucking main event. I mean, we already kind of knew, but like Stardom, do better with your fucking thumbnails, seriously. So yeah, guys, we'll be there Thursday at 7 for Stardom recap. And then, yeah, Friday, I don't think we got anything going on. So just be in the Discord for Smackdown. And then Saturday's weekend review because we didn't do any last week because obviously it was Mania fucking weekend with Stand and Deliver. So we're going to have a lot to decompress from, a lot to talk about. So, yeah, just everybody, if you're in the Discord, join us for NXT. Should be a lot of fun. And then again, Thursday, Stardom recap. And then just, yeah, so just a pretty chill week of just Discord hangouts and just enjoying that wrestling. And then in review, Saturday, 10:30. All right. Well, see you guys then. Be good to yourselves and each other. Tune in. Peace out.